Sclimbo time. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Sclimbo from Socks VTubing Agency, certified Sclimbo and self-improvement VTuber. It's me, a Sclimbo. How are we doing? Oh, I was just making a beat. That wasn't like Final Fantasy or anything like that. I was just making a beat. I mean, if the beat was something, that was unintentional. But welcome in, everybody. Happy every stream. Happy every stream all at once. So we're going to MagFest this week, as we said. So we're compressing every single stream for the rest of the week into this stream. However, it's also not going to be very, very long. I wanted to go 4 hours, but I woke up this morning and realized, I don't know how I'm getting to the airport tomorrow. I haven't packed. I need to buy stuff, and I have a collab tonight and clients. So I was like, you know what? I don't have 4 hours to stream. Ready for everything stream with a big helping of collab tonight? Yeah, we're going to be doing collab tonight, though. So we're going to be over on Carbon's channel. I'll shout him out a little bit later as people come in, and we're going to be doing a fitness talk over there. Carbon is looking for some fitness advice and a good workout plan, so I'm going to be helping him out with that later. But today, we're doing a lot of stuff. Looks rainy and cloudy. Could be the UK. Could be, Rosie. Could be. Hey, Kiki, what's going on? The lack of planning for travel is actually unlike you. Well, okay, Zeph, I've been busy. Okay, I know like what I'm doing. Like the plan is there. I just don't know how to get there. I haven't gotten the haven't figured out the part where I actually get to the airport yet. Because here's the awkward thing, okay? Here's what happened. Normally, I have a ride to the airport because a friend of mine and I share a car, right? So we just like, you know, the other one's always free during the day because we work from home more or less. So whenever we need to go to the airport, one person drives the other and picks that person up, right? We share off, we do it, we go one person, then another person. However, my friend is going to another con the same day. So now neither of us can use the car because he's leaving earlier than me by like 6 or 7 hours, but we're going to different places. So he's going to go and then I have to go. So I'm left without a car. Everyone's at work and I don't know how I'm getting there. So I have to figure it out. There may be a bus route, but I don't trust the bus route at all. So I might try to like, I don't know, walk half the way or something. Underwear, no mentality. Yeah, kind of. We're in Poland today. Hey, sailboat. Good. Actually, astute observation. We are, in fact, in Poland today. Everybody, welcome to Mixstot Poland. You got it right. We're in Poland today. So that means more points to Amelia. Good Europe guest today. Welcome to Poland, everybody. Bada boom, bada bing. Astute eye. Very astute eye. Is Uber not an option? No, Uber is very much an option. I don't want to pay a lot of money. I'm poor. I don't want to Uber because it costs a lot of money. The bus is cheaper, but Uber costs so much money. I never Uber. I've Ubered like 3 times in my entire life. Like I've been in Ubers here and there, but like I think I've only ever ordered one myself twice ever, mostly in foreign countries. Does the airport have a shuttle service? Yeah, but I don't think I'm a little far away. I'm a little far away for that, I think. So you're saying gift subs? No, because I just like, regardless of if we get gift subs or not, I don't think I'm going to spend it on an Uber. That seems inefficient, right? I think I'd rather run there. I think I'd rather sprint as far as I can towards the airport and then take a bus from there or something like that. Because regardless of how much money I have, the frugality is going to kick in. And then I'm going to be like, no, I don't want to spend that much on Uber. That's just completely inefficient, regardless of how much money I have. So screw that, and then we'll find another way. So I'll just sprint there or something, you know? Get out of here, hack the company card, yeah. Only times I've been in the taxis when someone else is paid. Yeah, kinda. I don't really take them. But anyway, welcome in today, everybody. As you can see, the marshmallow is already pinned in chat. Should be, at least. Hold on. Let me check that it is. Yeah, it should be. Because we're doing every stream at once today because I will be away at MagFest. So that means we're doing the fitness stream. That means we're answering questions. We're doing just chatting. It means we're doing something fun as well on the side like we do on Fridays. Normally it would also mean variety game, but I don't have time for that probably. So we're going to compress Friday and Thursday into one stream here and also just talk and do whatever. Mostly it's going to be just chatting. I think we're yapping today. There's a lot to talk about, you know, a lot of fun stuff we can talk about and have conversations about. So yeah. You my 30-minute walks from the convention. Yeah. No, this is worse than that. This is way worse than that. Like I could theoretically walk like a couple hours and get closer and then take a bus from there, which is like not something I'm above doing. Like I'd have to leave really early, but I think I could do it. I think I can do it. Sclimbo, you're going to catch Conflu while at MagFest? Yes, I am. I probably can't avoid it, Divination. That's a good question. So I explained before my situation, but it's kind of crazy. So everyone I know is sick. Every single person in my house but me is sick. They've all been coughing. They've all gotten a sickness. I've somehow been dodging it for an entire month, despite sharing bathrooms and kitchens with these people. And everyone I know is also sick. My family's sick. Everyone's sick. I alone stand unsick, right? I have dodged it up until now, but I'm going to a con with 9 people in a hotel room. And then after that, the next weekend, I'm going to a cabin in the woods with 14 other people. So, like, there's no way I dodge it all, right? Hey, Sai, how you doing today? Welcome in, man. There's no way I dodge it all, right? It's, like, impossible. Like, I want to say it's possible because, you know, kick logic to the curb, do the impossible. So I want to believe in my heart of hearts. But, like, if I do get sick, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's fair. Like, I couldn't get away with it for too long. That's fair game. That's fair game. You think I'll just use gift sub money for Subway sandwich? Okay, only sometimes. Only once per week. I only deserve Subway once per week if I'm good, okay? That's all I deserve. Take those 1,000 milligram vitamin C tabs. Yeah, I mean, I already have a lot of vitamin C in my multivitamin. That's probably why I'm, like, locked in so hard. Yeah, no, Sai, let's hang out. Let's hang out. I'm going to be with a bunch of other VTubers and stuff like that. Let's hang out. Absolutely, Sai. Absolutely. I'm going to be there starting tomorrow, and I'm staying until Monday. So I'm going to be at MagFest for like 6 days. We're going to have plenty of time. Because the con's actually 4 days. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm going to be patient 0. Actually, you know, I'm starting to think. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if I'm like a carrier or something. Because everyone around me is sick but me. And I'm like, am I just like spreading something without knowing it? Am I a carrier? What's happening here? You there tomorrow till Sunday? Sick. Yeah, we'll hang outside. We'll hang out. Sickness? No, the purity of my spirit will help me. Will help me not be sick. Hey, what's up to you? The magnanimous fest. It's true. You're right, blood cells are swole. They are. That's why I'm surviving so long. Because I have vitamin D in me. I get, you know, I exercise, I get sunlight, and I have a robust immune system from my nutrition. So I'm able to tank things better generally. But I'm getting real lucky so far. 4-day con, that's so non-standard. Yeah, it's also a party con. Like, that's the thing, is I think what's gonna get me is not the fact that I'm going and staying in a room with 9 people. I think what's gonna get me is the general lack of health that's going to happen over the next 6 days. Yeah, and it's open 24/7. And that's the thing, like, I don't think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get sick, most likely at MagFest. But it's not gonna be because I got sick, it's gonna be because my immune system tanks because I don't sleep for 6 days straight because we're partying. That's what's gonna happen. My immune system's just gonna get super deflated, and then I'm gonna get absolutely rocked. That's 100% what's gonna happen, so. Left 4 Dead 3 party member confirmed. Yeah, you're stoked for Mag? Nice, Keitha, nice. I am suspiciously white blood cell shaped. I am Osmosis Jones, it's true. I'm not gonna do arm wrestling. No, I hurt myself last time doing that. Unless people want to go left-handed. Listen, if you want to play left-handed arm wrestling, that is up to you. That is your loss. That is your loss to take. If you want to left-handed arm wrestle the magnanimous Sclimbo, that is up to you. But no right-handed arm wrestling. Nuh-uh, not today. Not this time. Have a hula hoop around you? Yeah, personal distance. It'll be good. Got a 16.6 of getting a correct bet on the place you're in. Better than most gambling. Yeah, you kind of rocked that one, Amelia. Is alcohol anabolic? No, it's not, Maddie. And there's no benefit whatsoever. Don't drink it. Obviously, social drinking's totally fine. Like, no problem there, right? I will say, just objectively, there's no benefit to alcohol. Alcohol is kind of just a poison towards us. I mean, you know, a companion of humanity from the very beginning, but also no benefits whatsoever nutritionally. So, I don't know. Take a drink. Drink all the alcohol, puke it out when you feel sick. No, I want apple juice. That's what I'm going to be hitting at the con. I want my apple juice. I ain't me unless I have my apple juice, you know? Alcohol's a nerve toxin? I really? I wouldn't call it that, but damn. I learned from Fallout, alcohol makes you stronger, better at talking. That's true, but that's a mental thing. That's social inhibition. If you just don't have any, you're fine. But I raised you vodka with protein powder? I mean, what about protein powder and no vodka? What then, Maddie? How about that? How about that? Apple juice is great, yeah. No benefits whatsoever unless you're a cow and don't process ethanol. And it's nutritionally complete. That's wild, damn. Yeah, there's nothing really nutritionally beneficial about alcohol, let's be real. Let's be real. Oh, I want to look something up before I talk about something. Hold on. Let me just look something up really quick. I want to make sure this doesn't dox me. Around. I need to look up a certain chain's locations to make sure I can actually talk about this. Hold on. Can I have like a map here, maybe? Here, find a store near you. Perfect. Okay, I can say this then. That's fine. Hey guys, you know who I gotta give a shout out to? Besides GamerSups, because GSups is releasing Gamerade. Wait, did they announce it? Is Gamerade the Korea team? Did they announce that finally? I definitely didn't talk about it on stream accidentally on Monday. Hey, what's up, Tuxedo? How you doing, man? Abandon what kept us alive for centuries is what. Yeah. Use code VTuber Mail for 10% off. So true. Flork announced it. All right, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Let's talk about it. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up if it's been announced. Gamer Aid, Gamer Sups. Make sure it's here. Is it on the site yet? Maybe it's not. Wait, Flork announced it, but it's not there yet. What? Flork dropped it? Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me go to Twitter real quick because, like, Flork doesn't run Gamer Subs. Did Flork drop it? Hold on. Where is... I want to make sure this is viable to talk. Ah, yeah, here we go. Oh, good. 20 minutes ago. Okay, that makes sense. Let me pull it up for you. I have things I want to talk about with this. That's really funny. Let me save that. Let me make sure this has the info I want. New product. Does it say... Hold on. Is there more information? Let me go to the Gamer Subs. I'm going to Gamer Subs Twitter real quick. I'm looking up info on this because I want to say words about it. Oh, God. It's not... I mean, I assume that this is public now. I think I should be able to talk about it. Bogo, thanks for the 25 streak. What's up? Thank you for the status, by the way, Div. Thank you. Yeah, yesterday was crazy, by the way. Yesterday, I was thinking about yesterday. Yesterday, for those who weren't there, was the Nuzlocke, and we survived. The run kept moving, only because of a 1/4 coin flip that we won. We were about to lose the entire run and go back to Kanto, but we won a first turn wake up with Gyarados. By the way, forgot to mention this at the end here. If you remember, AA the Gyarados was also who saved us from Zangoose earlier that day. So if it wasn't for him, we would have wiped twice yesterday. Oh my God, right? So yeah, no, it was, Tate and Liza fight went terribly. We were wrong about how the game worked. And the double water absorb did not work. And then Zatu started using Calm Mind and it was a mess. We lost 5 Pokemon. Gyarados was at 12 HP and it was asleep and it won a turn 1 wake up. 1/4 coin flip to kill Lunatone. By the way, do you want to hear the craziest thing? This to me feels like it's difficulty ROM hack, like thought logic, but it was actually in the game. Because Tate and Liza are technically 2 trainers, they had 4 hyper potions. That's no fair. That feels like difficulty, like ROM hack logic right there, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, you know, there's 2 of them, so they each get 2 hyper potions. It's like, no, it's 1 fight. Come on. Hey, Fibby, what's up? So, oh, AA, you need to watch the VOD. AA, you saved us from wiping twice yesterday. You MVP of all time, AA, of all time. Go on Twitter, you can see the clip. Yeah, why does mom let you have 2 hot dogs? Why does mom let you have 4 hyper potions? So after beating a double calm-minded Zatu and 4 hyper potions, we managed to eke out victory. I was thinking about it though, and you know what I was thinking about? I was like, there was a better way to do it. Like, even apart from the explosion theory, there was a better way to do it. Actually, I think what we could have done... Okay, hear me out. What I could have done is I could have gone... Dustox. Remember how Dustox was underleveled in the Maxi fight or in one of the other fights? If I kept it Dustox underleveled, what I could have done was had it come out first and then have like a really strong attacker in the second slot, right? So I would have had Lapras or something second slot. I could have baited double Psychic onto Dustox because it was underleveled and they would have seen kill. And I could have used Protect, so I would have gotten a free turn, right? Free turn, they can't hit it. I would have a free turn to attack with Lapras. I then could have gotten another free turn by swapping into a Dark type off Dustox after the Protect. So I could have gotten 2 free turns without ever taking a hit, and they both would have had to use attacking moves because they saw kill because of the AI. I really should have thought about that, but I didn't. That's my bad, but that's probably how we could have solved that problem yesterday, but we navigated. I did after stream make I made a new team. I did go and I was like, okay, I've always said that I won't take encounters in towns unless I need to, and we needed to because we lost all of our good Pokemon. So I actually went around to every other possible location that we hit where I could catch something new, and I did. So we added 4 more Pokemon to the team for next stream. We added a Wigglytuff, we added a Crawdont, we added a Staryu, not Starmie yet because we don't have Waterstone access, and we added a Kingdra. So we have a Kingdra now because we could get a Horsey and we could thief a dragon scale from Horsies in the wild, and we had thief, so we could technically have a Kingdra, so we do now, just in case. Are you going to season a Brickman with creatine? You know, maybe you could. There was a question I wanted to answer earlier though. Hold on, let me zoom up. I think Yeety asked something, or Maddie asked something. You know how many grams it'll have? I don't think they put the amounts per serving in the vitamins. Yes, that's what I want to talk about, Maddie, because I do know how many grams they're going to have. And that's why I was looking to see if that was announced, if that's on the product page, because I've seen that. I assume it's fine to talk about. I don't think that's like they're trying to hide that or anything. So it should be okay to talk about. Does creatine maintain itself if heated up? I've never tried that, but I'm sure it does. I don't think it'd like break down bonds or anything. So it should be fine if you heat creatine. I've never tried it, but You already do it with Anime Girl Thigh? But you did raffle the names. Yeah, I did not raffle the names. I named it after like talents and stuff like that. But yeah, let me show you this. Okay, let's talk about the Gamerade real quick. I did see something interesting here. So let's see here. Here is the ad that Flork posted, so I think it's fine to post. This is funny because it's not... Hold on, let me see. Can I post... I don't know if Etu's here. Let me check something, because there was like an internal thing that I saw that had like way more stats on like what was in it and stuff like that. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Hey, what's up, Tomb? This is a VTuber model. Very true. Hey, what's up? I'm Sclimbo. So blue flavor. Yeah, blue is a good flavor. Okay, so here's Gamerade, right? It's a creatine plus hydration supplement. What I did see, and I think this is fine to say because it's dropping now, each serving is 2.5 grams of creatine. So you get 5 grams of creatine, which is going to be your daily amount that you want to saturate your body fully. You're going to need 2 scoops of this thing. You're going to need the double scoop. And how creatine works, also very important, is creatine is not a take once and get the results type supplement. Creatine is a supplement where you want to load yourself consistently. So it takes about 3 weeks of taking creatine consistently to fully saturate your muscles. So this is something you'd have to take every day, and you're going to need 2 scoops per day, basically, if you're with Gamerade, basically. The tub is a 45 ACP round. Well, I don't think it has lead. No, it doesn't have lead. It does not have lead. Very safe amounts of lead. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, well, creatine is something you have to take daily. You can't take creatine a little bit and then stop and then start. Like, you have to take creatine consistently, basically for as long as you want the effects of creatine. And then once you stop taking creatine, same deal. It'll take a while to go away, but you need to fully saturate your muscles first. So that's how creatine works. It's a daily thing. Other thing I thought was funny about this is in the advertisement. I thought this was very funny because, you know, GamerSupps isn't necessarily a workout supplement company. It's like a supplement company and like a gamer oriented one. But when I saw the ads for Gamerade, I thought it was really funny. They were highlighting the benefits of creatine that were not the primary benefits of creatine. And that makes sense, right? Because they're advertising to like a general population, but they were kind of like advertising the nootropic and like brain effects of creatine, but they didn't mention the fact, and this is something they should do, I think. They didn't mention the fact that it's like one of the best workout supplements of all time. Like, muscles were not mentioned. So I was like, wait, no, hold on. We should talk about that. Like, creatine, the best part of creatine is performance. We should talk about that. So, it's weird because you take GG while working on planes. Nice, nice. Is it daily or after workout? You can take it whenever. Creatine is not a pre-workout or post-workout thing. Because it's a saturation thing, you just take it at any time in the day. You just want to take it every day. Creatine is made naturally in the body. You also get a little more in it from eating meats and things like that. However, creatine is not like BCAAs or, you know, amino acids in general, in the sense that you will get enough to fully saturate your body just from having a good diet. So this isn't one of those situations where it's like, okay, well, you don't really need BCAAs because if you're eating complete proteins, you probably don't need them. This is not that. Creatine does need to be supplemented to fully saturate. You probably can't eat the amount of meat required to fully saturate your muscles with creatine just through normal nutritional consumption. That's why it's so good. So yeah, just keep in mind that if you do want the benefits of creatine, you do have to take it long term, and it does take time. Okay, that's very important. We gotta market. Yeah, no, I was like marketing. I was like, listen, like, I didn't say it to them, but I should mention it, where it's like in the ads, like, you should talk, like, the most primary studied part of creatine is the benefits for recovery, intraset recovery, and performance. It also makes you look bigger because it hydrates your muscles, your cells, basically. The cells in your muscles retain more water when taking creatine, so you physically look bigger muscularly as well when you're taking creatine. And they didn't mention those benefits at all. They were just focusing on like the mental benefits and like nootropic benefits. And I was like, well, we should mention those. That's like the most important part. But, you know, that's my bias as a fitness guy. So I was like, wait. So it's exciting. It's exciting. We're going to have a creatine product now. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. As someone who does only gardening for workout, never touch any of what the streamer's mentioning. Yeah, you probably don't need to, too. That's the thing, is like, if you're not, like, creatine's good. I think generally there's not much reason. Like, everyone, I don't want to say should take it, but everyone can benefit from creatine, even if you don't work out. But, you know, you don't need it. You don't need any supplement. You don't need any supplement. What you need is making sure you're getting your vitamins and stuff like that. So creatine's very good. It's one of the top 3 supplements out there. It's always good. This is creatine monohydrate. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see any other forms of creatine, so that's pretty good. Happy about that. But yeah, you're going to want like 2 scoops probably every day. I will say before I say that for Gamerade in particular, I have not looked into the actual breakdown of what vitamins are in a Gamerade besides creatine, like what else is in there. So I want to check that before saying you should have 2 scoops of this every day, because I don't know if like they do 2.5 grams of creatine, but then enough of something else that you might like go over on a vitamin. Probably not. Mostly they're going to use water soluble vitamins in that sort of thing. But yeah, I just want to check that before I say definitely have 2 scoops of this. But you would ideally want 2 scoops of this for the creatine. You know, that's what's going on. Let's not mix it with steroids. How about that? Hey, Dr. Monkey, what's going on? How you doing? All you can eat steak. Most gamers care about brain health more than physical health. Yeah, it's just funny because it's like, I think we should probably advertise the part about it that's the most studied. Like, that is like this. If we talk about like preponderance of evidence in like meta-analyses and stuff like that and control trials when it comes to creatine, the muscular effects and benefits of creatine are way more studied than the mental effects of creatine. So it's like, I'd like to see that on the ads too, but that's my bias as a fitness guy. Can you overmax on it? Or is it like vitamin C? So you could theoretically take too much creatine. It'd be really hard. A lot of people, so what they'll do, because creatine is a saturation supplement, what a lot of people will do when they first get on creatine is they will take like a super dose of creatine for like a week to fully saturate faster. It's called like a ramping phase. So some people, and I don't recommend this, but some people will take like 20 grams of creatine a day, 15 grams of creatine a day for a week or so to saturate faster than 5 grams over 3 weeks. You know, it can be tough on some people's stomach if you do that, right? Some people can have stomach issues from a hyperload like that, but it won't kill you. A lot of people do it. I've done it. When I first started creatine a long time ago, I did like a 10 gram or 15 gram ramp up in like a week and a half. So you're not going to, within normal doses, you're not going to have a problem. So yeah, that's what's going on though. But very cool, Gamerade. And you should be able to use code VTuberMail for 10% off when this drops as well. Wow, isn't that crazy? Isn't that funny how that works? But no, cool product, very cool product. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad we're doing creatine stuff. I'm just thinking like if we're doing creatine stuff, we should probably talk about the physical fitness benefits. Would creatine on the regular help curb the beer gut? No, it wouldn't, because creatine does not help you lose weight anymore or anything like that. What creatine does is increase performance. So, you know, how it goes, right? This is the same sort of logic as why some caffeine products can say they technically raise your metabolism. When you're stimulated on caffeine, you might move more, and that will burn more calories, right? So technically, roundabout way, it does increase your metabolism, but not in a true way, right? Creatine's very similar. Creatine will increase your performance on lifting in particular, right? Interset recovery, so you'll be able to maybe eke out like, you know, small benefits to power production. So maybe like an 8% higher lift or 8% better recovery. So then you might be able to lift more per set. And then that translates into muscle gains, that translates into calorie burn, so on and so forth. Creatine alone will not burn any more calories. In fact, creatine, some people with creatine, like, generally it makes muscles look bigger, right? Generally you will look bigger if you're taking creatine and stuff like that. But some people rarely will have like because their cells are more hydrated, they will appear bigger, like they're retaining more water. So you will retain more water weight when taking creatine generally. You also want to stay very hydrated. But if you have healthy liver or kidneys, you're totally fine to take creatine, basically. So it wouldn't help curb beer gut unless you did something else too. Yeah, Rare Gamer subs L for not making me the spokesperson. Yeah, I should hit them up and be like, guys, you got to advertise the best part, you know? What are we doing? We got to advertise the best part. You think muscles would be a focus for the snap movements needed for games? Yeah, it's a different type of thing, though. Hey, Zepter, what's up? Yeah, hey, what's up, Tomiyan? What's going on? Smooth advertisement. I think it is limited. I think it is a limited drop, so. May I have creatine if I don't do much exercise? Yeah, totally. Creatine's good. I think there's very few reasons, like, it's one of those situations where it's like I said, you never need a supplement, but if you're looking to, you know, take something to make you better in general, higher performance, creatine's probably one of the best things to take. I would say that you don't even need to work out because there are benefits of creatine even without working out. Hey, Just a Galaxy, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. May I have creatine? Yes, you may. You'll be hitting more weights? Yeah. The best combination is creatine, hydration, and weights. That is where you want to be using it primarily, but every Sclimbo stream, where Pokemon? Well, no, Lance, every stream for the rest of the week, all in one. That's kind of the idea. Okay, I could talk about this too. By the way, if you guys have any fitness questions, you can feel free to throw those in the marshmallows or in chat, because we are also doing our fitness talk today. We're just going to be in everything a little bit shorter because we're cramming streams into a short amount of time today. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Other things to talk about, check this out. You know who I got to give a shout out to? What location I got to give a shout out to? Any REI enjoyers in here? Any REI enjoyers? The shop, REI. Any enjoyers? Yeah, Mag soon, because Mag tomorrow. I love REI. That is my favorite store of all time. It's like my favorite store of all time, honestly. And that's why I had to check it was countrywide. I had to check it was countrywide to not dox myself, but... You have your REI membership card in your wallet? Yeah, REI member for like 13 years over here. Hello, Everynyan. How are you? Hey, what's up, Kumo? Good. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah, talk up REI. Okay, so this morning, right, I realized that I've had a new camping pad up on Throne for a while. But I got rid of my old camping pad. So I'm in between camping pads right now, basically. And I realized, oh shit, I'm going to a hotel room and need to sleep on the floor for like 5 days. I should probably go get a new camping pad. So before stream, I ran out this morning and I was like, okay, REI, a little bit of a drive, but I can make it. And so I got up early. I went to REI. I was there at opening, and I ended up grabbing something. So I did get a camping pad there, but it just reminds me how much I like REI. Their stuff is so cool. So like, REI is a co-op company, and I haven't really seen this around the United States. But REI is a co-op company, and how that works is if you're an REI member, they will straight give you a dividend check at the end of the year for profit they made. Like, if they make a certain amount of profit, they just pay it back to you. Hey, Toom, thanks for the follow. Welcome. They just pay it back to you at the end of the year. And so you get like a differential of like how much you spend at REI back every year. And it's just really cool because they have like this section for like pre-owned and used gear as well. Because it's primarily, for those who don't know what it is, it's primarily like an outdoor sports store. So it's like hiking and biking and camping and like, you know, all of that stuff, right? All of that outdoor stuff, a little bit of skiing, like tents, you know, survival equipment, stuff like that, right? But it's just so cool. Everyone, it's aesthetically like really like wood cabiny and stuff. They got like ice picks on the doors to open as handles. And yeah, it's just sick. Like everyone there's super nice. They're super helpful. They're really knowledgeable. And they have like this, like my favorite spot is they have a return spot. That's all like pre-owned gear and equipment that they down price because people return stuff. Because when you're a member, it has a year-long return policy. If you buy something there and you don't like it, you can return it within a year. So you can use it for a whole season and be like, I don't like this, and then return it. It's wild. Like I was talking today about the camping pad, and the employee was like, yeah, you know, like if you buy it today, even if you don't get out until April or May, you could just return it then. And it's like, damn. Sclimbo X REI. I love REI. REI is so sick. Outdoors here means taking a walk through cornfields. Yeah, that's outdoors. That's outdoors. Like Best Buy Open Box. Yeah, it's like Best Buy Open Box, but they have a section for it. So unlike Best Buy Open Box, it's like there is a section of the store that you can go to and everything's out. Like it's not like, oh, you have to look it up online, it's behind the counter. It's like, no, you can touch it, it's out, it's prepared, and they got tags on them. You can buy old shoes there. Like they like returned hiking boots and like fancy shoes and stuff like that for hiking that, and then you look and hey, if it fits your size, you can pick those up for half price. It's really good. It's really good. They had indoor climbing at the one you used to go to. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Yeah, Iowa core for sure. So that is really cool. I had a great time this morning at REI. I just like going there. It's really fun. You can buy everything there. So I did get a new camping pad. So I'm probably going to take, actually, I should probably take the one off Throne right now. Because I did go and just get it because I needed it. But I got a really small one. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really good. It fits like, it's like almost in my hands. Like, oh God, it's so small. I'm trying to equate it to like how big it is. But for a whole bed, it's pretty damn small because I like minimalist equipment. So people are going to be laughing to see what I show up with. I'll take a picture of it, like my travel bag, because I'm all about like minimalist travel. So you're going to see like my MagFest like bag. There's no suitcase. It's just a backpack. I think it's like 25 liters. Hold on, it should be on here. So yeah, it's a 25-liter backpack. And then I'm just going to be pulling out my entire streaming setup, all my clothes, my bed. Like it's going to be good. It's going to be good. How much was the pad? I spent like 160 on this one. I didn't end up getting the one that I have on Throne right now, but I went with another one because they were actually like fluffed up and they were blown up in the store, so I could test them. And I found one that was smaller that I like that worked for me. And so I was like, yeah, I could pay less. That's great. I like paying less. That's my favorite thing ever. What is MagFest? It's a convention. It's a East Coast convention, not a VTuber convention. It's like a comic and music convention, right? Like music and games, I think is MAG, music and games. I believe that's what it is. But it's like a big party con. It's a 24/7 convention. It goes for 4 days. Tons of music acts. It's like takes place in this giant, amazing indoor complex called the Gaylord, and that is the actual name. The hotel complex is called the Gaylord. And yeah, it's just like it's in National Harbor, Maryland, like right near DC. So it's gonna be so fun. I've never been there. I've never gone to MagFest, so I'm very excited. And I know so many people there. Like, it's gonna be awesome because I think I have like 40 people I know who are going. So we're gonna have just a nonstop party pretty much. There are at least 4 different hotel rooms I know I can crash in, worst case. So we're chilling. Like, I have one I'm staying in, of course. But there's like 3 others I can go to if we're too crowded. So did you go to MagFest? You know the YouTuber Noodle? He's got a panel there. No, I don't think I know Noodle. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. So if you guys have recommendations for MagFest, all I got is on my itinerary is I'm gonna see Crush 40. That's it. Everything else up in the air. We're gonna play it out, you know? Hey, Winter, got a whole set of titanium utensils, cups, and even D&D dice. You can play D&D while I camp. Ooh, that's nice. Only adds a few grams too. True. Yeah, I have I actually took out all my camping gear. I wish I could hand cam right now, show it on screen. Because I have all my camping gear on the side because I only have one backpack. I have my travel backpack, but it doubles as a camping backpack. So I just take my camping supplies out and then put my travel supplies in whenever I need to, right? Hey, what's up, Cyber? How are you? I'm doing good. How about you? Been going to Mag for 10 years and a blast each time. I'm so excited. It seems like such a party. I know a guy who's going to do a DJ set at MagFest. Nice. I am going to dance a lot. I am a big dancer. I'm a big rave dancer and stuff like that. Like high energy, jump around. Get real sweaty though. Oh God. Let me drink. Oh, did Noodle do E3 vids? That would be cool. Yeah, I should check that out. I'm going to look at all the panels when I get there and stuff. I'll have plenty of time. I could do it on the plane, honestly. Plane ride will be a good time to check into itinerary. Highly recommend the Noodle panel on Saturday after Proto Act 3. Okay. Yep. No, 25 liters is tiny. I like it. I like fitting everything in there. He's doing an E3 2010 live viewing roleplay. Oh, that's really good. I might have to go to that. That's incredible. E3 2020 isn't that the giant enemy not giant enemy crab? No, wait, is that giant enemy crab and the Konami panel year? Is that the one where the guy's like standing right behind the dude and it has giant enemy crab? Is that year? You love the Pose nightclub? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Saddest Small Boy? The Milwaukee Hogs. No, just, you know, hogs in general. Hydrate redeems out of stocks, and I'll use this. Go hydrate. Oh, someone else must have done it. Get a GF Live Love Yuri, and I'm doing it very well. You got a GF Live Love Yuri. All right, congrats, I guess. Yeah. If they do it this year, there's a Pokemon scavenger hunt where you have to find people dressed as characters. Ooh, I'm a Pokemon, basically. He did one for Sony 2010. Oh, that's really sick. This one's Nintendo. Oh, wait, Nintendo 2010. Is that the Wii Music year? Oh, that might be Wii Music year. Or that might have been 2009. I'm not sure. That's going to be a banger, though. It's from Genji 2 on the PS3. Yeah, but is that the E3 one? Was that Konami E3 2010 or a different year? I forget. That might be. That might be Wii Music year. I'm not sure, but it might be. Let me drink. I'm staying super hydrated so I don't get sick. Okay. Anyway, talk about REI because it's really cool. Let me talk about, MagFest travel. Like I said, I don't really know how I'm getting there. Gonna figure that out. I think I'm gonna bus, but like, I don't know. I don't know if I trust the buses. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like black pilled about buses, where it's like I don't really go on public transport that often in the US, but like having done Japan public transport, I'm like, ugh, like my expectations are really low, and I'm kind of like, well, if it's late, I'm screwed. It needs to not be late, but like I imagine it's gonna be late. Like I don't think their public transport here is as good, so I'm like, do I want to risk it or should I just walk? I might just get to walking. Realistically, I might just like take a really long hike to the airport or as far as I can go before getting there. I'll at least cut down on the price. The Uber, I don't want to say the exact price because the calculation's based on that, but the Uber was very expensive, and I was like, I would rather not do that. But that aside, I'm so excited for tomorrow. This is when I'm like at my most powerful, I would say. So like, we talked before about how I kind of like Christmas Eve over Christmas because of the anticipation. The day before travel, I'm excited. I'm jumping around. I'm yippying all over the place. I love traveling. I love airports. I'm going to explore the airport. I'm going to get snacks. I'm going to have local dishes at airports. It's going to be so cool. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have so much fun. Oh man, I'm so excited. My regular bag's like 35 liters. Yeah, we get small liters. We get small liters. It would be like $100 for a 10-minute drive. Yeah, right. I love going to airports so much. I think like I've been to quite a few airports. The coolest airport I've ever been to was definitely Istanbul, Turkey. That airport was insane. I think it's like one of the biggest airports in the world, but the interior is like an indoor shopping mall and it has like streets. It's crazy. It has like streets and it's like multi-floor and it's just like some of the craziest sights ever. And it's just so cool culturally as well, because Turkey, as a lot of people know who know anything about geography, is like the crossroads between Europe and Asia. So it's so wild. Like the last time I went into Istanbul, it was a red-eye flight from Scotland, because I was in Scotland first at a castle for a wedding. And we ended up arriving around, I want to say 3 a.m. It was like 2 or 3 a.m. where we got in to Istanbul. So we're really tired. We come out of the gate and it's just like a mystical experience, right? There's just thousands of people busy, despite it being 2 or 3 a.m. Super busy, super packed. But because you're at the crossroads of the world, basically, there's just people from every single culture walking around. Like, it would be incredible, right? Because you'd see people in like full hijab, and you'd be rocking next to people in full hijab, but also people like straight up in bikinis and stuff like that. Like, just like the dichotomy of every single culture being in this airport was so cool. And you just get to see everyone. It was really, really, really sick. So Istanbul Airport is a really fun experience. I'll always try to route through there in the future because it's really good. The traditional overpriced airport cocktail. Yeah. No, I'm all right with the flight too. I think I do, what's it called? Raw dog flights. I tend to raw dog flights. I'll usually just sit there and stare out the window and like, you know, be like I'm like the kid who wants the window seat. I'm like, I want to see the window. I want to look out. I want to see the clouds and then the place below. I want to see the world. But when I can't do that, I do watch movies. I don't really do anything else. I don't sleep. I just watch movies or I just sit there with my arms crossed and think. I love it. All in one streaming. What will they think of next? Yeah, I know, bot. It's kind of like, to be fair, it's kind of clickbait. It's kind of clickbait. Because it's like, we're not doing everything. Because also, I was intending to do everything of the next 3 streams all in once and do like another 4-hour stream. But I just don't have the time. I forgot that I have a collab tonight and also clients later. So I was like, oh shit, I need to pack. I need to buy things. I need to prepare a lot too, right? Because like, I don't have my Sclimbo stuff on my phone. So I need to transfer everything so I can be contactable there. And then I need to set up my whole PC for mobile, right? That's a very involved process because security is important to me. So I need to set up my PC to be ready to go. So I need a lot of time. So I can only stream for a little bit today. Try my best. But hey, what's up, Tingle? What's going on? I love the food. I think airports have good food. I think airlines have good food. I might be biased because I've been taking a lot of really long distance flights recently. But I will say I've done Japan Air, JAL, obviously. I did, oh God, Turkish Airlines. I think is it just Turkish Airlines? Is that the name? I forget. But it's really cool. Whenever I go to Japan, I end up getting like 2 or 3 meals on the flight because it's like a 15 or 16 hour flight. And I'm having a good time. They're good. Maybe I'm just used to low quality food, but they're good. I'm happy. You listen to music, sleep, and stare out the window. Yeah, what's Sklimming? What's Sklimming for you too? Bring your phone, connect to in-flight Wi-Fi, watch anime. No, I don't like to watch stuff on my own. I don't know. I just sit there. I mostly just sit there. Like, my flight isn't that, like, it's relatively, compared to Japan flights, my flight's not that long, so I'm probably just going to sit there. I'm going to be 100%. Probably just going to sit there and just chill out and just be like, oh, hey, RS, what's going on? You ever try Singapore? Yes, Singapore Airlines. I think I took that last time I went to Japan from the West Coast. Yeah, their food's great, man. I'm a big fan. JL is sick. And their warm meals, yeah. And not only are they warm meals, they're like, I like variety, right? So for me, having 5 or 6 different things on the plate matters a lot more than one of something that's really big. So I really like how when you get a meal at one of the airlines for like international travel, they'll be like, okay, here's like a piece of bread with some butter. Here's like a little side. Here's the main dish. Here's a dessert. There's like 4 or 5 things on the plate. And I don't know, just, it's really exciting. Really exciting. I do stare into the void, yeah. I travel a lot for my current job. Per diem ain't great, so I rarely get the good airport. Yeah, I've never I've never flown first class. I am a super budget traveler. What I do, and this is a tip for everybody. I talked about this on Discord on Sunday. Here's a travel tip, okay? If you don't care when you leave, but you do want to go on a trip, what you do, go to Google Flights, right? And then I can't show you this because it'll dox me, but go to Google Flights, hit the explore option. Don't type anything in, just hit the explore option and you will get a map of the world. And what you can do is you can put in every nearby airport near you as multiple choice option. So you can be like, okay, flights from these airports, this group of airports, and then just put in the location where you want to go. And then don't put the date. You'll have the option of like 2-week trip in the next 6 months. And then you can literally look at what is the cheapest possible place. Like what's the cheapest possible day and time that we can possibly fly. That is the trick. That's how you get crazy, crazy things. Hey, what's up, living, breathing drug PSA? Show feet. Yeah, all right. Here. For free? There you go. Have some feet. Have some feet. So that's the trick. That's the big trick. I wish I could show you, but it will dox location. Just go ahead and type in, hit the explore option, and you can do like 1-week trip in the next 6 months, or pick a specific month, but you can do like, 1 week or 2-week trip. But what it does is it stops you from having to pick a date. It will show you the cheapest possible flight on whatever date. That's usually how I take my trips. I'll be like, okay, I want to go to Japan. What is the cheap flight, right? Like I was looking on Sunday at round trips to Japan for $780. I'm not close to Japan. I'm about as far away as you can get from Japan. so I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. That's the way. Just don't care about when you leave. Just don't care about when you leave, right? But all to say, I am very much a put me in the cargo hold type of guy. Like if there was a pet containment area, put me in there. I don't care. I'm never going to pick my seat. I'm just going to raw dog the flight. I'm just going to lock in. Because in my mind, it's like this, right? 15-hour flight. It sucks. If I'm in the middle seat, I'm a big guy. I'm broad. If I'm in the middle seat, that's going to suck. However, I employ a stoic philosophy when I'm flying. You can call it Zen, a Zen philosophy, where I'm like, this 15 hours of suffering is the pathway to saving hundreds of dollars. So in my mind, that's how it is. It's like, a Zen philosophy, right? It's like the pathway to suffering is only 15 hours of being crowded. But I just close my eyes and I just let it happen. And then I come out on the other side, $500 richer. There's a 454 flight to Rome for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can do that. Your flight was $678. That's crazy. You can use a VPN to be somewhere else to check flights. Yes, price can vary. Clear your cookies before looking up flights. If you continue to look up the same flight, they might increase the price on you too. If you have cookies on. Just money for nothing and chicks for free. Go to Rome. Yeah, when in Rome. Sclimbo the broad, use incognito. Yeah, but like that's how I do all my trips, as I'll just be like, screw it. You get a first class when I was like 22. I'm so okay. Did I say 6'7" again? 6'7". I really, really want to get hit by a flight delay. I know some people like try to aim for them. I don't know how to do this, but the real meta is to aim for an overcrowded flight and then take the delay option because they pay you like $1 million. I know oh god, somebody I know got it recently where they got bumped from their flight because they were a volunteer and they got the flight for free and then also $1,000, like a $1,000 voucher. I'm always aiming for that because I'm like, listen, I don't need to be in that place most likely. Like I am a very free traveling sort of guy. I probably don't need to be somewhere on an exact day. So if I ever get the opportunity to take a delayed flight and sleep in the airport for a day and get $1,000, I am taking that opportunity. I do it for $300. I'm cheap. You recently screwed around, checked flights to Tokyo. Cheapest was $708. That is really good. Hey, I'm just saying, you should get on that. Oh, I'm saying, some Tokyo action going on. You were going to do that on my flight to my grandpa's funeral. The airline was like, lol, never mind. On the flight to your grandpa's funeral, crazy work. Yeah, so they pay you. If you have a guaranteed ticket, like you bought through a reputable dealer and you have a guaranteed ticket, what they'll do is if they oversell tickets all the time. I don't know what their process is, but they suck at it. So what they'll do is they'll be like, hey, we don't have enough seats on this plane. Does anybody want to volunteer to, get bumped to the next flight? And obviously nobody really does, but then they'll start adding incentives. Then they're like, okay, we really need someone to get off this flight. If you volunteer to get off this flight and aim for the next one, we'll give you a $200 voucher. And then they keep going and you just like, you're playing that game and you can coordinate, right? Like, I don't know, it's a hard game because it's prisoner's dilemma, but you can maybe coordinate with the other people and be like, no, we're holding out until like $1,000. I've seen a $2,500 payout. That's the biggest one I've ever heard of, but I've heard of a $2,500 payout voucher, and I think there was a night in a hotel included with that. I think it was a night in a hotel, money for food, and a $2,500 voucher. that somebody ended up getting, which is like, oh yeah, you could, I don't care at that point. I'll stay in the airport for a week if you're paying me $2,500. Overselling's intentional. They're betting X amount won't show. Yeah, because that does happen. That does happen. But that's what I'm hoping for always. I'm always like, please, please let this be the one. I've never had it happen though. Because to be fair, the reason why my flights tend to be so cheap is because I'm on flights that aren't crowded. So that's the problem. The problem is like, okay, yeah, when I'm looking for the cheapest possible flights, it's because they have not filled the seats. That's why they sell them for cheap. So I never end up being on a crowded plane. Also, the other part of that, and here's the real tech when it comes to planes, right? If you really want a cheap flight that's like good quality, where you don't have to worry about getting crowded in your seat or anything like that, right? Like if you want to avoid a middle seat, here's the real trick. Just get lucky every time. That's what I do. just constantly get lucky and never ever get punished for it. What you do is you never pick your own seat and just get lucky every time. That's the play. And I believe that my luck will continue. I have just been built different. No, seriously. I think the last 7 flights I've taken, I've never been in the middle seat. Or if I was in the middle seat, the person next to me did not show up. My first flight back from Japan was a completely crowded plane. There was 1 seat open on the plane, and it was directly next to me. You just have to win every time. That's all. You just have to have fey luck. Someone always takes the 400 offer. I'd take the 400. Yeah, I'd take the 400 in food voucher. I'd take that, to be fair. Never pick a seat. You can go to the counter of the gate and request a seat change. You can if there are seats left, true. But I rather just like gambling and winning every time. I think that's the real way to do it. It's just win. Just gamble and win. That's the way. Just gotcha roll it and be right every time. Roll nat 20s. I will never lose. I will never lose. I've also never been on a flight with like a crying baby or like a, you know, like someone sitting on me or snoring or anything like that. Like, no, I just get lucky. And I will continue to get lucky. That is my belief. That is my belief. I will let the hubris continue. You always get kids near me. Yeah, I've never had it. I'm just going to let the hubris continue until I get really hit by it. Like one day it will catch up to me. One day the luck will catch up. But until then, I'm going to pretend like that's my strategy. You know? Yeah, you got to train your luck muscle, just like yesterday, right? Listen, we won the 1 out of 4 coin flip on Gyarados yesterday to save the Nuzlocke. Do you really think I'm going to get a middle seat tomorrow? I don't know what my seat on the flight is. Do you really think I'm going to get a middle seat? Because I'm not. I promise you right now. I'll tell you right now, it ain't happening. Closest airport being massive makes this impossible. It doesn't matter the size of the airport. You just gotta rock, you know? Two crying babies. Yeah, I'm going to be in between 2 babies tomorrow. Yeah, no, we're just gonna get lucky. I mean, the flight tomorrow is chump change. When you know, train on 15-hour Japan flights, a domestic on the same area, like, you know, I'm in New England, right? DC's not that far. This is gonna be like a, I don't know what, under 2-hour flight. Like, this is chump change. This is nothing. I'm gonna blink and it's gonna be over. It's gonna be a fun time. If you do, you gotta tell us. Now, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you that I won, is what I'm gonna tell you. Look forward to the Discord message tomorrow of me saying, yeah, I got a window seat and no one in the middle. Actually, I was free. I was in the whole aisle alone and I just slept. That's what I'll say tomorrow. Look forward to it. Come visit the Portland airport, take a photo of the carpet. Ooh, why? Why? What's going on the carpet? You'll spend more time in the airport than in the air? Yeah, I will. I always go to airports really early because I like walking around and getting snacks and exploring. So I always end up at the airport like 2 hours early. So even though it's a, you know, easy flight and it's probably not going to be busy. I mean, I'm literally flying out at like near noon on a Wednesday. I think that's like the least populated possible time in an airport. So I don't think it's going to be a problem getting through security. So I'm also really easy in security. I wear tank tops. I wear shorts. I have a 25-liter bag. There's nothing to check. I'm really easy. I just trained to DC. Yeah, it's not cheaper for me. I looked into it because I like trains. It was not cheaper for me. It was actually more expensive. No, it was the same price to fly or take the train. But one is 6 hours longer or so. So I was like, no, not going to do that. I think it was like somewhere between like 4 or 6 hours. No, 4 to 7 hours. I think it was somewhere in that range to train once I got to the train station. And that's like not even saying I'm near the train station, right? So I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to fly for the same price. Why not? My life for US high-speed rail, same. I have no fear when it comes to flying. I've been on a plane where the engine blew up. I'm fearless at this point. I cannot be defeated in the sky. because I've done my research. I know anxiety cannot defeat me. But yeah, I've been on a plane where one of the engines blew on a plane I was on once, when we were over Taiwan. It sucked. It wasn't, okay, so the story was, it wasn't like super crazy or anything like that. It was actually pretty, it was surprisingly chill, all things considered. So what happened was, this was actually the last time I came back from Japan. I was flying over Taiwan, to go to Hong Kong. And what ended up happening was we were right over Taiwan, about 30,000 feet. We were really up there in the air. And, you know, I was actually watching the Chernobyl miniseries. I hadn't seen it before, so I was watching Chernobyl. And I was watching the episode right when the reactor blows up in Chernobyl, right? And as I was watching that, it was right when the reactor blew. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, sometimes some people really are in the wrong place at the wrong time, huh? And the second, I swear, the second I finished thinking that thought, there was a loud banging noise, a boom noise, and a flash of light from outside the plane. And we all just sat there like, Now, I was on a plane full of Japanese people. Everyone was very quiet. And we were all just looking around for a moment. The plane was not diving or anything like that. So we were just looking around, and then we started smelling smoke. About 5 to 7 seconds later, we all smell like an electrical smoking smell. And I'm in like the back row of the plane, right? So I just look back to the flight attendant, and she looks at me, and we just kind of make eye contact. And she just goes to the phone, calls up to the pilot, and, you know, speaks to him in Japanese. And then she just puts the phone down, looks at me, and gives a thumbs up. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We're all right. Because it turns out planes can fly on one engine. So we're good. Happens. It happens. I even read a story that, wow, God, what was it? Apparently one time there was a pilot, I think he was lifting off from New York, and he was a British pilot, and one of his engines blew up on liftoff. It like shut down and exploded a little bit on liftoff. And he was like, we're just going to go. We're going to go across the Atlantic. Screw it. Because they're capable of it. Even with one engine, they can do the whole trip. And because there's just so much redundancy in a plane. Now, obviously, he did get in trouble for that. It is the pilot's discretion once they're in the air, I believe, if they want to turn around or not. But this dude was literally like on takeoff, engine blew, and he decided to go all the way to the UK, which is like, all right, dude, you were right there. You could have just circled around and come back down. That would have been safer, but it was fine, right? So planes are robust. In fact, I would say, and this is just knowledge, right? Planes are the most dangerous at takeoff and landing. Once you're in the sky, you're chilling. Because even if all the planes go, even if all the engines go down, you can glide. You can glide for a long time, and then land. So planes really aren't that scary, especially, you know, where it's like, all right, I've been on a plane where the engine blew up. I'm chilling. Can't happen to me. Cannot be defeated in the sky. Sclimbo, VTuber god of flight. I cannot be defeated in the sky. It's true. Can we use that as a good luck charm? Not even worried about plane stuff. Just want to get to the nearest big city for $50. Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot to do with the size of the country and love of cars. Yeah, we could have high-speed rail, though. It would work. There's no really reason why we can't, you know? Modern airlines are designed to be able to fly in one engine. Yeah, they're so good. Yeah, they're so good. All airplanes have, like, triple redundancy. You can blow up, like, 20 parts of it, and it's still fine. Hey, Vamp, thanks for the stretch. So I'm not worried ever about that. Safest form of travel. Yep. Yeah, big planes have 4 engines. That's right. AC-130 is even more insane. The pilots have balls. You've heard accounts of combat pilots dropping an AC-130 to a combat zone, plane on fire, 2 engines down, just take off with 2 working engines, lose a third, and limp back to base. Well, I imagine it's like they keep the engines, you know, under 50% utilization or something for efficiency, as with most things, so that if they do lose an engine, they can just ramp it right up to the normal operating barrier and still be fine. You know? Worst I've been on is an aborted takeoff. Everyone's like, what? Yeah. First see the Sumerian fertility god, now he's the god of flight. My power grows. It's so true. I am stronger. The sky cannot defeat me. But yeah, I'm so excited. Tomorrow's gonna be a real fun time. Real fun time. Just for funsies, they slapped a 130mm howitzer to the thing. My favorite story of flight, you can just do stuff. My favorite flight story was, I think it was in World War II, there was a pilot who was flying an old prop plane, and he was a scout, right? He didn't have guns or anything. He was a scout plane that was like a prop plane. They were using old prop planes for scouting. And he just decided to strap bazookas onto it. He was like, wait a second. He was an engineer, and he was like, wait a second. I know prop planes fly at like no miles per hour, and they're really flimsy. What if I mount bazookas to the side? So he just he rigged up bazookas on the side of his plane and started dive bombing tanks and just shooting bazookas manually at them. And it worked. He blew up like 6 tanks. It's like, you can just do whatever. You can just do stuff. You can just do stuff. 747 wings can flex 45% before snapping. That's so silly. Planes are so cool. What if I mount the bazooka? Digimon design ethos. Yeah. We had War Greymon going on. Engineering's so cool. Yeah, it really is. So I'm really excited. Oh, I'm so excited. I am gonna miss everybody. I will say, I really, this is gonna be my first time not streaming in. Actually, yeah, we're not streaming again until Tuesday next week. So it's a 7-day stream break. So it's going to be my first quote unquote week off of streaming since we've started. That won't be frequent. I'll only probably ever take a week off of streaming maybe a couple times a year, I think. I'm going to build it in because, I do like taking vacations sometimes. I can stream while abroad usually when I'm traveling on my own because I have the equipment for that. But this is different. I'm in a room of 9 people. We might try to do an impromptu off collab. I'll have my equipment with me. We'll see though. We'll see how busy we are. There's a lot going on, but I won't be taking breaks too frequently. So I do feel a little bad because we're only 2 months in now. Like, in fact, my 2-month anniversary is in 2 days. So it's like, I really don't like missing a week of streams. I wish I didn't have to, but we do have to for this. And I'm going to endeavor not to do that so much in the future. But when I need to take a break, if I ever do feel like I'm getting burned out or something, I'll just take a week off, plan it ahead of time, and then be right back to form. So never something to worry about. Just don't forget about me, right, guys? I'll be here next Tuesday, same time. Don't forget about me. It won't be too long without your good old Sclim, all right? Machine Dramon has the guns on his back. My mistake. If you've ever seen those images, the A-10's gun is bigger than a damn car. Oh, my God. World War I scouts used to fire pistols at each other. That's so cool. That's sick. They should have had saber fighting in the sky. They should have flown really close to each other and hit each other with swords. Who's Sclimbo? Don't forget! No! No. What's it called? Like, I think Yomi and I have a similar philosophy when it comes to work and VTubing, where it's like, if we know that we're burning out, we try to get ahead of it. Right? If we know we're burning out, we're not going to let ourselves burn out for the most part and be like, okay, I need to take like a 2-month break because things have gotten really bad. I tend to try and stay ahead of it. Like when I start to feel the first signs of burnout, I'll be like, okay, time for vacation. So I'll pre-plan like a 1-week break and be like, I will see you guys next week. But I am going to intentionally, before I burn out, take a week off. So I try to get ahead of it, is how I try to do it. I believe Yomi does the same. We'll be here when you get back. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. And like I said, if anyone is VTuber Mutuals going to MagFest, and we've talked before, we were mutuals and stuff like that, feel free to hit me up. But yeah, we're gonna have fun. And if you see me at MagFest and you see my name tag, just don't tell anyone it's me, okay? You can totally come up to me and say hi if you see me on the floor and you recognize me via name tag or something like that. But don't leak what I look like. I mean, I look like this, right? It's gonna be real obvious who I am. So don't post that on twitter.com. That'd be appreciated. Thank you. Instead of dying from exhaustion. If you see VTuber male, grab his pecs for good fertility. You can, sure. I'll allow it. You can grab my pecs for good luck in real life. You're allowed. Just a flat 2D dude rolling around MagFest. Yeah, I'm just here. Like, you can do that. So, but there will be plenty of cons, plenty of meet and greets. MagFest is kind of just like a fun one for me and other VTuber friends. We're not like doing any work stuff really, I don't think. We're gonna be hanging out and stuff, but we're gonna be doing a lot of meet and greets. I do like doing meet and greets, so whenever the opportunity presents itself to do a meet and greet at a con, I'll probably take it. I'll be around the world. We'll be all over the place doing stuff, so look forward to it this year. I think he looks like a male with eyes and legs. Looks like a 7-foot tall buff guy. Yeah, I know. I look like me. I got my hog shirt on. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn this way. Exactly. I'm just drawn this way. But yeah, it'll be pretty easy to spot. So if you do see me, you can totally come say hi. If you like hear me, right? If you're walking around MagFest and you hear someone screaming and it's me, and you're like, I know that voice, and you see my name tag or something at like a booth, and you know who I am, you can totally say hi. I'm totally okay with that. So I'm very open to that. So feel free. I would appreciate it. Honestly, it'd be like cool. It'd be like, whoa, hey, I know you. Mag's too much of a party to work. Yeah, it's kind of the idea. It's not going to be relaxing because it's going to be a nonstop party, I think, but it's going to be fun. That's for sure. I need to be careful about how much food I eat. I don't want to spend too much money at MagFest, so I'm not a merch guy. I'm not going to buy a bunch of merch. Food is where all the money's going to go, but I need to be careful. I'm sure there's a lot of good food around that I want, but I can't have it. Yeah, going up to everyone and saying, oh my god, it's Sclimbo. You should. That'll work. Just scream it really loudly. I think I'm gonna pack something, actually. I really do. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack a big old Walmart bag of trail mix, and I'm gonna pack like a measuring cup, so I know that, okay, every scoop of this trail mix is this many calories. I'm just gonna supplement that and then have like one meal a day, I think is the plan, because I don't have hundreds of dollars to spend on food at MagFest. So I need to be very careful right. You know, I just started. I don't have time to build up stores. So yeah. But we do have some fitness stuff to talk about. Ads just turned on for pre-rolls. So we're going to go to probably the first and only ad break of the stream today. And then we're going to be right back to our fitness stuff. If you guys have fitness questions, put those marshmallows in right now. Feel free. We do have one in there right now, but you can send in more if you'd like. And then we're also going to talk about a body type thing before we get into the other topics for the day. I will be right back. I'll see you in 4 minutes. We always take an ad break to disable pre-rolls. Hiccups. Go to the bathroom, get some stretchy. I'll be right back. Bye-bye. BRB. All right, welcome back from ads, everybody. Hope you had a little good break there. Oh, also kind of cool. So we haven't heard back from Twitch yet about the partner application. However, I woke up today to see almost everyone I know getting acceptance letters on Twitter. It was crazy. There was like 10 people who got accepted, and I did some research. I did some looking into things. I did some studying, and I realized that all of those people applied right around December 1st. So that does give me a guideline of like, okay, well, the holidays happened, and they applied December 1st. So we might be looking at an answer in the next week or week and a half or so. But that does, I don't know. They say they get back to you in a week, but clearly it takes a month. But we should know soon. We should know soon. He's actually sobbing. No, they didn't say anything. Like, it wasn't a yes or no. They're still looking at ours for SVA Gen 2 and other people I know, like Vera. It's just that we saw the people who got accepted basically would have applied and did apply right around December 1st or December 2nd. And that was everybody. Like, everyone I saw who got it today applied right around then. There were some that were really easy to base it off of and like find, because there were people who debuted, like other agency VTubers who debuted like 2 weeks before I did, and they applied right when they could and then just got it. So I was like, okay, it must be this date. And then sure enough, the other people talked about applying on Twitter right around that date. So I was like, all right, got it, figured it out. Hey, what's up, Iso? What's going on? All right, we got some marshmallows flying in. Yummy marshmallows at that. So we're going to go over to fitness chat here, swap categories, and do some fitness talk. I do have something to show you guys, too. I saw something on Twitter today I want to talk about. Over to fitness and health. All right, here we go. Let's go check out the marshmallows and see what's up. Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it, Polly. If other agencies, because the only thing I was thinking is that if they want to see you stream for a long time before they give it to you, so like, even though I hit the requirements, if they want to see you stream for a while, but people who debuted October 25th, 2 weeks before I did, got it now. So I don't think that's a problem. So we should get it. Fingies crossed. Let's talk about fitness. Answer some questions. Welcome to the fitness category. Let's rock. Gotta leave right before fitness talk. Gotta run, have fun at MagFest. I will, Div, and the VOD will be there for you if there's any questions in particular you wanted to see answered. I think we got 3 or 4 in right about now. So let's take a look at what we got. Nice. All right, let's start. First question. Let me make sure my just chatting is on. Yes, it is. All right, first question of the day. This was actually done a week ago, but only got to it now. Hi, Sclimbo. I have a disorder called AATD that is liver affected. So my doctors told me to avoid keto, my prior lifestyle. Good. Generally avoid keto. That's a smart thing to do. And instead focus on a Mediterranean diet, arguably one of the best diets in the world, to try and keep your liver as healthy as possible. This is a nutrition question. Can you recommend anything fun you might add to salmon or tuna to keep things interesting if you're eating fish long-term? Thanks. Great question. So just to answer a few things and talk about a few things that aren't actually in the question. Yeah, so keto, not a very efficient diet, not a very good diet, doesn't really have many benefits over traditional calorie restriction. Some people like it better. So I would say it's a tool in the toolbox. It's not super safe to do long-term, and I don't usually recommend it to anybody, but some people just like eating that way and it helps them reach their goals. That's fine. But yeah, Mediterranean diet health-wise is probably one of the best diets that you can get. I would also say just a point of contention about keto in general that's relevant here, and this goes for intermittent fasting as well, actually. Frosted, thanks for the follow. Welcome. So one thing I think people forget about, right, is when it comes to intermittent fasting and you know, recommending that, or when it comes to keto and recommending that over traditional calorie restriction, what sometimes is lost is performance, right? So if you are somebody who works out a lot, if you're an athlete, if you're somebody who lifts weights, the thing is, those diets are objectively less efficient than calorie restriction, because carbohydrates are going to be the primary driver of strength and ability to perform. Across many, many studies, we see people have lower performance when they are not carb loaded in exercise. So by doing something like intermittent fasting or long-term fasting or keto, generally you'll be going into a workout depleted of carbohydrates, and you will do worse in that workout. So there is a muscular benefit to doing calorie restriction over those diets, even if those diets are just as effective with calories and protein being equated. So that's just something to keep in mind. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Just got done with a nice country coffee date. Ooh, nice. Hope it went well. You woke up with your right thigh very sore out of nowhere. What did I do? You aged. No, you probably just slept wrong. Nothing to worry about unless you injured yourself before. You're good, Duntham. Probably just slept wrong. Happens to me. Happens to a lot of us. But definitely keep an eye on it. But to answer the question, can you recommend anything fun you might add to salmon or tuna? Yeah, so Mediterranean diet, just like the Okinawan diet, probably one of the healthiest diets out there. It's a lot of healthy fats, a lot of olive oil, a lot of fish, very good for you. So what I would do if I were you is don't think about salmon or tuna like salmon or tuna anymore. If this is going to be your diet going forward, don't think of them as something that you need to add something to. Think of them as you add them to something you already eat. That would be my recommendation. So this philosophy is actually what I use in the Bricken as well, right? Bricken is ground chicken at the end of the day, but I'm not thinking, what do I add to my ground chicken? I'm thinking, what do I have that I can add ground chicken to? So split up your salmon, split up your tuna, put it in soups, put it in pastas, put it in mac and cheese, put it in salads, put it in everything you want under the sun would be my recommendation. Don't think of it as something that needs to be added to. I would say, you know, if you want seasonings and stuff like that, yeah, I think that salmon and like lemon-based things and lime-based things go together really well. Garlic goes together really well with it and stuff like that. But try and think of it more, especially if you're going to be eating it regularly, as something you're going to put in your meals throughout the day, rather than build your meals around that piece in particular, because that will allow you to have more variety. You know, you can even think of it like a snack, right? You can even think like, okay, hey, I want, you know, a little salmon fillet. Boom, you're out the door. Or you could get a bagel and be like, I want some bagels, put some salmon on top. I want pasta, put salmon on top. Bricken and ramen, fantastic. Exactly, like my Bricken throughout the day, right? I have 4 pieces of Bricken to make a pound, and I cut them into fourths, right? So I have my 4-ounce pieces of Bricken. First 2 are going on tostadas. The next one's going in soup. The final one's going in pasta. That's how I split my stuff up, but it gets the protein in throughout the day. That'd be my recommendation. Thanks for the hydrate, Little Crow. Trying to convince my dad to quit with the fad diets and fasting because I feel like he hops on health trends. Well, that's a problem. Trend hopping is really important, really big problem. Same thing with routines, right? A lot of people get choice paralysis with workout routines, and they will jump around between tons of different routines without actually getting to the gym very often. And it's choice paralysis. It's a big problem. So, yeah. Potatoes, rice, and quinoa are usually your go-to carbs. Yeah, quinoa and salmon goes pretty good too. When I want a carb load, what's a good food to aim for? Yeah, you'd probably want just like a whole carbohydrate. So you'd want something like, you know, brown rice. You want something like whole grain things. Even whole grain bread can be okay. But yeah, you want complex carbohydrates for things like that over quick carbohydrates. So mustard with me fish. Yeah, Bricken tartare. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Salmon, brown rice, roasted tomato, and onions, really good. Absolutely. But if you start thinking about it as an additive rather than the dish itself, it lets you kind of play with everything. Like, feel free to get silly with it. Like, this might sound insane, but this is something I've done. Like, if I'm going to say I'm going out and I want to make sure I get my protein for the day, right? I have gone to the length of actually bringing chicken with me, bringing like a piece of Bricken with me to then sprinkle on the thing that I'm eating at the event, just to make sure I get my protein. So like, get crazy with it, right? If you're buying a burger because you just want a burger, put salmon in it too. Who cares? The world's your oyster. There's no rules. Do whatever you want. That's my recommendation. Think about it like a topping rather than a base meal. And then you won't really get bored of it. Birria, ramen, Bricken. Yeah, exactly. Free will, exercise free will would be my recommendation. When it comes to cooking recipes, though, unfortunately, I'm not the best cook. So yeah, lemon-based stuff does work. Garlic-based stuff works. A lot of stuff's good for salmon, stuff like that. But fish, yeah. But yeah, just start making it everything. All right, next question. If I'm not sore after workout, is that a sign to raise the difficulty? Not necessarily. So soreness after workout is not a great indicator alone of getting a good workout. There are people who will be sore. Think about it this way, right? If you're a beginner, you're going to get sore no matter what you do. If you even pick up a weight with muscles you haven't really used before, you're going to get sore. If you're an advanced trainee and you're used to hitting chest all the time, you might not get sore at all. I don't. I've talked about that before. So soreness alone is not a good indicator. It can be for some people. Some people will have a really good soreness to fatigue ratio where they're like, okay, when I get sore, that is generally when I'm also maximally trained. But that's not everybody, and you won't know if it's you without years of training. So I'd recommend, no, just follow follow body signs, but also kind of follow the science on that one, which is like, all right, we know generally per muscle group per week, 10 to 20 sets that are hard and difficult, right? And that's like at an intermediate level. You can do even less as a beginner. But we know that's going to be your maximum recoverable volume in most cases is going to be 10 to 20 sets, really hard. So knowing that, you can just program through a week and say, okay, you know, I'm going to split up. I'm going to do 10 to 20 sets of chest throughout a week and know that that's good. Like, I don't have to feel sore necessarily as long as I'm going close to failure. That's the important part. So that's why powerlifting is really cool, because there's a barometer that you can check yourself against, right? There's a number you can check yourself against where you're saying, hey, I can't bench 210. but I can bench 205, right? So you can use that as a guideline, right? You know, if you can bench 205, you shouldn't be benching 180 is the same way to think about that, right? So it is really nice to do that powerlifting sort of thing, or, you know, write your things down so that you have a reps and sets that you know when you're in your best possible case you're capable of, and then keep trying to up that. But you know that when you can't up that, you're at failure. So it's a really simple system, right? For example, if you do 10 reps of something and you can't do 11, you know you can do 10 and not 11. You know you are at failure. You've worked hard enough on that set. Repeat that X number of times. You know that you've gotten your maximum volume for the week. Most likely. It's really hard to tell person to person. There are some variants, but that is a good guideline. So not necessarily soreness, just make sure that the workout schedule is robust and it contains everything, and you're hitting that 10 to 20 sets per week that are difficult. Do not count your warm-up sets in that. Don't make them easy. Don't trick yourself. You got to see what's close to failure. We're talking gun to your head failure. We're talking get one rep away from that, where if someone was like, I'm going to kill you with a gun if you don't do another rep, that you could maybe get that rep up, but it's sketchy. That's where you want to be. Not do that rep. Now, we'll say, you know, there are times where you go to failure, but you don't have to do that every set. Staying 1 or 2 away from failure is good, but you have to figure out where your endpoint is of like, all right, gun to my head, I cannot do this again. And then go slightly short of that, you know? So that would be my recommendation for that. But yeah, soreness alone is not a great indicator because people get sore differently depending on some genetic factors even. I'm redeeming a single squat with imaginary points. No, no, no. In baking and confectionery, there are indeed rules. We don't have to follow them, though. You've heard a nutritionist say this before, too? Nice. Salmon and tuna burgers slap. What tips can you give to a person who often gets bored during the routine 30 minutes of cardio? Go outside. That's not even a joke. My biggest tip is go outside. Get your walking done another way. I would even say if you're doing 30 minutes of cardio and you're jogging or something like that, go jog outside. Find, if your gym is close by, jog to the gym. Require it so that once you're done with your workout, you have no choice but to jog back home. You have no choice but to do more exercise, right? It avoids the choice in cardio because you have to get home. So if you can, jog to the gym, jog back, go outside. That beats the monotony. That's one way to do it, I would say. Also try different forms of cardio. The best form of cardio is the one you stick to. So if you like swimming, try swimming. If you like sports, try sports. You don't have to run. Only have to run if you want to. So that would be my big one, I guess. Similar, at least for them, it's think of what you can add, not what you can take away. That's always also good. Yeah, walk your dog. You can train chickens to walk on a leash. I mean, that's like a, yeah, sure. If you got chickens, why not? That's pretty cool. You can do that. I don't see why not. But yeah, that'd be my Rex there. So good, very good question though, because there is a conception that soreness is the only way to determine if a workout's good or not. Now, on the other side of this, soreness can actually be a sign too of overtraining, but not always. So you might be in a situation where you train, say you go into the gym and you train your chest for like 20 sets in one day, right? Absolute insanity. You blast your chest 20 sets in one day. You're probably going to be sore after that, but that doesn't mean you had a good workout, because what most likely happened is you hit your maximum muscle gain like on like set 6 or 7. And then the rest was junk work. It didn't do anything for you. In fact, it probably limited your recovery for the next session because you just blasted it and you hurt yourself further just doing 20 sets. There's no point to do that. And you'll be sore, but that doesn't mean you had a good exercise. That means you might have even gone overboard. So a good sign to know if you're going overboard is just if you're able to replicate something over and over and over again consistently. So, you know, if you hit 20 sets of chest and then you can't do 20 sets again the next like day and a half afterwards or 2 days afterwards, that's a good sign you're probably overtraining. Don't hit 20 sets of chest in one day. That's the answer. Did I go to failure in my last set, or does it matter which one I do? You know, you don't even necessarily need to go to failure. So my argument on going to failure or not, there's a lot of arguments about this, and I think people tend to miss the point on it, where people will look at the data and they'll compare it and they'll argue online of, is it better to go to absolute failure or stay 1 or 2 reps away from failure, right? And the interesting thing about it is different studies tend to say different things. And so people argue back and forth because the data is not clear. But I think the conclusion that we should draw from that is that because the data is not clear, it probably doesn't matter that much. So all to say, you can do whatever you prefer. Even if going to absolute failure is slightly more efficient, it probably doesn't matter that much. So do whatever you enjoy and whatever fits you best, I would say. So if you are going to go to failure, I would do it on the last set. I agree with that. And I would do it, yeah, I mean, I tend to do it that way. Go to failure on the last set of whatever exercise you're doing. Just keep in mind that there is something to be said about total system fatigue, where you can absolutely get like central nervous system fatigue from going really hard on one lift, and it can affect other lifts, even if that's not that muscle group. So I've had this happen with clients sometime, where clients will hit like a bench PR. Like, okay, client hits a bench PR one day, right? He's most likely also not going to hit a squat and a pull-up PR that day. Like, if dude went crazy on bench and the last rep was a real grinder, took like 7 seconds to come up, and it was really, really hard, he's gonna do less pull-ups. Like, he's gonna be so fatigued, like he's not gonna have the mental energy. His nervous system is not gonna be fully recovered. He is most likely not going to also get, you know, absolute optimal pull-ups. So you have to understand there's only so much you can do in one session. And that's all to say why it's good to alter sometimes what exercise you do first, because whatever exercise you do first will tend to be the one you get the most out of. So that's why you'll see people in a lot of programs, well, they'll do bench first one day, and then they might be benching another day, but they'll do squat first that day and then bench later. Just moving it around, because whatever you hit first is going to be most efficient. You only go to failure because you fail to recognize my reps in reserve. Yeah, that can happen. You get really good at it as you get more into lifting generally. You'll know. Like, I generally, when I approach a bench, I know what I can do. Like, I'll lift 2 reps of something and know immediately if I can do 7 or if I can do 10. Where it's like, yep, I know where I'm at. I know what I'm capable of right now. You'll get there. You'll get there. Health question. How healthy are marshmallows? Not really healthy. Fuwaku, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Remember, everybody, Prime is free. It's free. Health question. How healthy are marshmallows? Yeah, so not really healthy. They're just sugar, pretty much. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you have the calories for it, just remember, sugar inherently is not bad for you. What sugar does is lead to overconsumption of sugar, which then becomes over calories, and then that becomes unhealthy for you. But sugar alone is not dangerous. It's just dangerous because it makes you want more sugar. So marshmallows are fine if you can control yourself and you have a few here and there. Wouldn't be eating them every day. There's really no point to that. They're not very nutritionally complex. They're not very useful, but they are yummy. So yeah, you want some marshmallows? Have some, you know? Not the end of the world. A couple marshmallows and a hot cocoa or something like that. Like 15 calories, not a big deal. Negligible, right? How tight or loose should my weight belt be? Tight. Very tight. Quite tight. Quite tight. Because you're bracing against it is the idea behind a weight belt, right? So you're going to be bracing your core against it. It needs to be tight to keep you locked in. A loose weight belt doesn't really do anything. So keep it fairly tight. You still got to be able to breathe, of course, but make sure that when you're tightening your core and you're breathing out and you're kind of doing that reflex, like tighten maneuver when you do a heavy lift, just make sure you're bracing against the belt. That's where you want to be tightness wise. For me, it is better to not go to failure. Failure, it massively increases the risk of injury. Yes, it does. And that's one of the arguments, right? Shiveni. So you have a point there, right? Closer you get to failure, the more likely you are to hurt yourself, especially on heavier weights, especially as you get older. So there is some wisdom to staying 1 or 2 reps away from failure. That's why the argument's fun, because the argument is it better? Well, maybe not actually. Maybe it's kind of a toss-up, which is more efficient for muscle gain, but one has a higher risk of injury. So it tends to be smarter to stay 1 or 2 reps away from failure. I would say also for beginners, you don't even really have to think about this. Beginners can stay 5 reps away from failure and still get maximum muscle gain, because that stimulus is just so much different than they're normally used to. So you could, as a beginner, stay very far away from failure and still get max gains. Being a beginner is like cheating. It's like on steroids. So just signed up for a powerlifting meet yesterday. Gonna be your first one. Nice. What are you looking at, Maddie? How are your lifts looking? You can say numbers if you want. I've never competed, but and I know competition, you know. A pint of syrup a day is good. Oh, that reminds me of that one person who was addicted to maple syrup and they had to drink a bottle every day. And then they like almost died from doing that, because you know that's not good for you. So yeah, when you make a bricken, how do you keep the fat from all dripping out the side? Mine always comes out with a puddle of fat. Okay, yeah, so this happens. I actually don't. I make my bricken in a sheet pan thing, like I'm trying to think of like what it's called, but like a little bowl almost, but not a bowl, like the square bowls, like a casserole dish almost, right? But a small one. And so what I do is I just tinfoil line the bottom. I hit it with cooking spray and I just put the bricken in there. So it doesn't overflow with fat. Like, yeah, there is a puddle of fat at the end for the most part. But then I just take the bricken out of that and it still tastes good. It's still fatty. And then I just dispose of the liquid. So, I make sure that the hot fat liquid goes down the drain for the yummy drain monsters, because that's what you should do. Drains are meant to pour hot fats down there that will turn into solids at room temperature. Hoping to hit my maxes on my final attempts. 315 for bench, 455 deadlift, 407 squat. Nice. Going in a 98 kilogram class. That's good. You're good, Maddie. Hell yeah. That's good shit. Good shit. Gotta keep the plumbers in business somehow. Yeah, you gotta, right? Might have to air fry mine when I get around to it. Yeah, casserole dish. Let's see, any more questions today? Feel free to put in any more questions if you'd like. I do have something I want to show you guys, though. Let's bust some misconceptions. It's Mythbuster time. Unless another question comes in. Okay, I'm going to put something on the screen and show you something. I saw this on Twitter today. I think it was bait, though. I will say, I'm going to lead by saying I think this was bait. So, I saw this picture on Twitter today. And the quoted thing is, women love this body type for some reason, right? And I'm like, haha, true. Like, very true. I hear that all the time. 3.5 million views. I looked in the comments, and I saw a lot of people saying this was a dad bod. And I feel like that's bait. I'm like, no, that has to be bait. We're past this, right? We're past thinking this is a dad bod, right? Please tell me we're past thinking this is a dad bod. No. Yeah, what kind of dad is that? It must be bait. It must be bait. Because let me tell you something about that. Some people would say that. Let me tell you why that's not true. Let me tell you why that's not true. This is not a dad bod. This is the bod of someone who's natty and has lifted naturally for 10 years is what this is. This is someone who lifts regularly or has a very, very strenuous job where they're lifting things all the time. And this is like, yeah, someone who's been in the gym 4 years. 4 years. This is not a dad bod. I would even go further and say what I did want to comment about this type of body. Yeah, kill me if this is a dad bod. Exactly. Some people have no idea how much it takes. You know how much work it takes. This is not a dad bod. Look at his arms. For God's sakes. This dude's jacked. This dude's jacked. This dude probably benches like 280. 280 to 300, I would say. Maybe even a little bit more if he's a bench specialist and knows what he's doing. This is a good fucking body. Like, this is really good. But I want to, Amelia, you bring up a point here. You have a bring up a point here, and this is what I wanted to talk about this body. I would argue this is optimal. I would argue this is an optimal body. Far from being a dad bod. I would argue this is pretty damn optimal, pretty damn close to optimal. If you consider lifestyle and if you consider efficiency, okay? So, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. This person does not have a six-pack. That's fine. The reason why is when you have a six-pack year-round, when you're that depleted in body fat, it's really, really hard to maintain, and it's not necessarily healthy to maintain. Don't get me wrong, having a six-pack's cool, it's great, but ask anybody who's had a six-pack for a long period of time. They're not going to be sleeping well. Their sexual, interest is going to be way down. They're going to have testosterone problems. They're going to have vitamin problems and stuff like that. They're going to feel like shit half the time because just being that lean is like starving your body. So maintaining abs year-round is not reasonable for most people. It's miserable. It's not fun. You want to be slightly above that. And that's kind of where this guy is, right? You can see definition. You can see he's got good definition everywhere. He's got a little bit of a belly, but that's not a bad belly. That is probably like, 18, 20% body fat. Around 15 is probably ideal. Like, sure, he can maybe go an extra 5 or 10 pounds lower and be really optimal. But this is a very good body and very optimal performance. This is something that's strong. It's efficient. It's healthy. I would say this is pretty damn good. So you don't need six packs. Like, six packs are great, but they are not sustainable long term in most cases, right? So I would say this is kind of optimal in my mind. This is like an optimal something that you can achieve that's natural, that you can continue to can maintain lifelong. I would say this is very oriented towards long term is what I would say, where it's like, yeah, you can maintain this forever. You can maintain this at 60, at 70. You can just keep going with this. It requires a little work in the gym, but nothing too crazy. You can still live your life. There's a little wiggle room here. You gain 5 pounds during the holidays. You lose 5 pounds afterwards. This is pretty damn optimal. This is pretty damn nice. Anyone who doesn't think that is wrong. That's all I'm going to throw out there. That's all I'm going to throw out there. Anyone who doesn't think that is factually incorrect. It's like every time an actor reveals the superhero physique, yeah, they don't know about the dehydration process, yeah, or the steroids they take. Unless they're on something, in which case they're already being risky. Yeah, strong but huggable. He's not flexing either. Yeah, no, he's big. This is peak male physique, I would say. For when it comes to like daily strong, right? Obviously calisthenic people are going to be leaner than this, and they're very strong and very healthy. So there's many axes, right? Like the calisthenic axis is different than this, and also very optimal and very healthy, maintained through calisthenics. But this is a very lifting sort of body that is maintainable and reasonable. Hey, what's up, Shadden? What if I prefer twinks? Then you can prefer twinks. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to be attracted to this. I'm just saying that health-wise, this is pretty damn good. This is pretty damn optimal. And this is very reasonable. It's like strong, been in the gym a long time. But somebody who looks at this picture and says like, oh, that's a dad bod, he doesn't work out. I'm like, you have no idea. You have no, this is not what someone who doesn't work out looks like. Not happening. No, twinks are, you can like twinks. That's fine. That's fine. I train many types of people. I'm just saying that like, you know, we're bringing it up because I saw this on Twitter and I saw people saying this was a dad bod. I'm like, you're crazy. There's no way. That's tapped thinking. This is pretty damn healthy. Pretty damn healthy. Yeah, this is nice. I think this is nice. This is like me at my best, I would say. Like this is close. This is pretty much me at my best. Is looking something like this. So I'm a little bigger in the chest side. But that's just my genetics. I have like a wider chest, but this is pretty close to where I like to be at optimal, I would say. How like this? Yeah, this is a work bot. This is so much work. This is like lumberjack. That's Twitter. I think it's rage bait. I thought it was rage bait too. I was like, yeah, but I'll talk about it. It's still good to tell people, you know. It's still good to be like, yeah, this is important to recognize that this is actually a lot of work. I do have fat titties. Yeah, I have real fat titties. That's a real fact. Real fact. Yeah, the arms are killer. Really nice arms. No, the arms are like the best part. Real killer. Great chest. I mean, shoulders are great. Traps are great. Everything's pretty balanced. Looks awesome. This guy, you'd see his abs if he lost like, you know, 5-10 more pounds. He's killer. He's killer. I do have real fat titties. Very true. Very true. Jacked nips. Yeah, his nips are all jacked. All right, we did have another question come in, but I wanted to talk about that briefly today. At some point, I was like, I want to talk about that. That's fitness related. I saw that. I don't know, because in dispatch they say Robert has a dad bod. Let's take a look. Hold on. Robert dispatch is they're saying he has a dad bod. Let's take a look. People don't know what dad bod means. I'll show you a dad bod. Robert dispatch. Let me show you a real dad bod. Hold on, dad bod. I'll put up an example of what's objectively a dad bod. Yeah, Elon Musk. That's a dad bod. Or not Elon. Well, Elon in a way, but let's see here. All right, yeah, no, I'll show you a dad bod. Here's the dad bod. Let me pull up Robert Dispatch too. Robert Dispatch shirtless? Wait, no one's saying he has a dad bod. Ain't no way. Dude has a six-pack. You're joking. Hey, Dablagoo, thanks for the follow. Good name, Dablagoo. Check this out. They're saying this guy's a dad bod? That's crazy. That's insane. Yeah, I'll show you what a real dad bod is. No, that guy's shredded. What are you talking about? You're crazy. Not enough of a belly to call that a dad bod. Here's the dad bod. Right side. There's a dad bod. That's a dad bod right there. Absolutely, 100%. That's what a dad bod is. Maybe the chest should be a little bigger, but that's dad bod. That's the dad bod. Yep, that's it. Dad bod's an attitude. Yeah, that's true. Dad bod is an attitude. I know what they mean, but like, let's not. We should, I think, give credit to the people who've put in the work and not try and play it off like they did it by accident, right? Not try and be like, yeah, it's a body they got by not working out at all. It's like, let's not downplay the 10 years they spent in the gym, please. That's a dad bod. Let me see another example of a dad bod. Let me get like a bigger dad bod, like a bigger chest dad bod. Dad bod. Let's see here. Find an example of like a bigger chest. Yeah, people are saying Jason Momoa had a dad bod. That's also not true. Let's see here. I'm looking for like the big chested dad bod. That because like beer belly is important for a dad bod, you know? Dad bod is jean shorts, socks, and sandals. Maybe a fanny pack if they're feeling adventurous. Free chance to see Jason on stream. Jason Momoa. Trying to find like a good dad bod example of like a bigger chest dad bod. Big chest. Eddie Hall? Yeah, well, no, we can't. Okay, that's not fair because Eddie Hall is like one of the strongest people on earth. So it's objectively not a dad bod because, yeah, he has a high body fat percentage, but he is a powerlifter who's like the strongest man on earth. So one of them. So it's like that doesn't count. Let's see here. David Harbour. Who's that? David Harbour. Dad bod. Shirtless. Oh, yeah, I can see that. First picture. Yeah, that's pretty dad bod. Hellboy body transportation. Yeah, hold on. Look at this. First picture. Yeah, that's like a pretty objective dad bod, I would say, in first picture here. Not when he's Hellboy. That's pretty objective dad bod. Yep. Little beer belly. You know, he's got that square shape there going on. Chest is there. It's doing something, but not a lot. Hey, what's up, El Pepe? What's going on? I think when some people say dad bod, they're fetishizing an older, mature man who has some life experience. Yeah. Well, the idea behind like people calling a jack dude a dad bod is the idea that like they're flawlessly maintaining that by accident. And it's like, no, they aren't. Look at the one I sent you on Discord. That's dad bod. Need that. need. Let me see. Hold on. Someone sent me something on Discord. Let's see here. Maybe something on Discord. I'll open up Discord and take a look. We're looking at dad bods today. Hold on a sec. Let's see here. What are we sending? Oh yeah, that's primo dad bod. You're so right about that. Hold on, let me put that on screen. That's primo dad bod. That's primo dad bod. Actually, I don't know. He's like a little bigger. I wouldn't say this is true dad bod. This is like escaping from dad bod. Like they're on the journey from dad bod. Hold on, let me show you this shot. Look at this. So if you analyze this, like, yes, okay. Here's the thing. He's like pudgier, he's thicker. I think he's escaping dad bod here. Like he's strong looking. He looks like he's lifted before. Not completely sedentary. But he's like in there, he's in the range, but he's like getting away from it almost. You know? Yeah, it looks like escape from dad bod. Because dad bod is like, when I think of dad bod, I think pudgy. Like I think, you know, beer belly and a little bit of strength. Like they look like they can pick up something heavy. Like their chest is kind of big, their arms are kind of big. But if you see here, his chest is bigger than his stomach. His chest is actually larger than his stomach. Like if you put a shirt on, it would hit his chest before it hit his stomach, which is like, you know, we'll toss up. This is like white chocolate with almonds. It's borderline. This is borderline. Yeah, Homer Simpson's a pretty good example. I mean, he's just like, you know, but this is like the edge, I would say, between getting strong and being dad bod. Because like, let's keep in mind, right? Let me show you what the strongest people in the world look like shirtless. This is important for comparison's sake, right? Hold on, let me this and go get a picture of like Eddie Hall shirtless. Right now, this is also steroids. That's not fair, right? Because this is also steroids. But like, let's take a look at Eddie Hall. Let's take a look at Hafthor Bjornsson shirtless. Let's take a look at these guys shirtless. When they're not cutting, right? So when they're actually at their strongest, when they're not lean. These guys, to be fair, do have steroid gut, so you might see a six pack. But hold on a sec. Here we go. Here's a couple good images here. They're kind of small though, so bear with me. So like, here's Eddie Hall, one of the best deadlifters in the world. Look at his stomach. I mean, this is steroid gut, to be fair, but like, look at the bro's got the movies, right? He is thick. Boy is thick. Over here, Hafthor Bjornsson on the right. Like, these are the strongest people in the world. This is what they look like. So it's interesting. There's a range for sure. There's a range for sure. Got the farmer tan, yeah, and shoulders. You got to compare the dad bods to the Korean boy band idols. That's fair. I guess if you like compare them to K-pop idols, they are objectively dad bods. But like, realistically speaking, you know, people who don't have access to surgeries. Zero cardio routine. Yeah, zero cardio is a dad bod special. Would you ever do a physique review? Yes, I would do that 100%. That's like part of my job. I mean, I don't review for competition. I'm not like a bodybuilding competition reviewer or anything like that. But, you know, I know to look at a body and say what's lacking, right? And say what's lagging behind. But only in the interest of being productive, because I really shouldn't, like, I don't want to be judging anyone's body, because like, I am somebody who trains people. I'm not the strongest or most jacked person in the world myself, right? Like, I'm muscular. At my best, I'm pretty impressive, I would say, but only when I'm at my best. But, you know, my job is training people, not being the person myself, right? Not to say I don't do that, but all to say I am not a competitor. I am the teacher is the way to explain it, right? Like, I'm good, I'm solid, but I'm not like the peak of anything. I dated a guy who started taking steroids. He had his phone background, his PC background, forced my iPhone background as his steroid body. I hope one day I have that much confidence. Oh, thanks, Sean. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I train constantly. Don't get me wrong. Like I do, like, I'm not saying I'm a schlub or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. But all to say, like, there's a big difference between being someone who knows how to work out and works out and being a competitor. That is a different level. I am not a professional competitor. So I'm not like, you know, I'm not walking around 10% body fat, lean, massive. That's not me. That is not me. All right, couple questions. So I don't want to, so when I do a physics review, you know, if I do a physique review, I don't want to be judging people who are bigger than me too hard. You know what I mean? Even if I do know the knowledge, I don't want to be like, yeah, dude, you got to work on this. It's like still more impressive than mine. I look fluffy. I'm kind of a tank. Had quite a bit of damage to my body. Yeah. Yeah, competitors min-max, right? I'm just a trainer. Like I know how to eat. I know how to train. I'm strong. I'm decent. You know, people would call me muscular. On the best day, at my best physique, people might mistake me for being on something. But I've had that before. But like, I'm not competing. I'm not the strongest person in the room. Not the biggest person in the room. But, you know, sometimes I'll be in the top 5 or top 10. So I'm cutting right now and I hate it. It's so tough in the winter. Yeah, no, I always cut during the winter. It's a mistake. I mean, right now I'm not impressive, I would say, because I was injured. So I haven't been training aggressively for a few months because I was injured. So right now I'm not very impressive, but I'll probably be pretty impressive by off-Kai, I think. By off-Kai, I'll be proud of where I'm at again. Competition's another level. Kimmy was the only natty Street Fighter. Yeah, I'm a trainer in the gym goers of the Pokemon. Yeah. All right, next question. What is the percentage of loss when you use a seated bench press versus a regular bench press? I can do 185 on bench, but 270 on seated. Do you mean a Smith machine? When you say seated bench press, because, you know, you're seated in both bench presses, do you mean like one that's on rails? Like a Smith machine? I do need clarification on this one because I assume you mean a Smith machine. Are you going to off-Kai? Do you want to fight? Yes and yes. I'm ideally going to off-Kai. I'm waiting to see if SVA is doing anything for off-Kai or not, but I am going to try and go my own. It's a little touchy financially. We'll see, but I really want to be there. That's like the main VTuber convention. So obviously I do, but I'm going to need that time to get in good form, right? Like I'm not very impressive right now, I would say, because I was injured for a long time. So I lost some muscle. Want to be the first VTuber to be canceled for fighting another VTuber? Yeah! No, I want to, I thought about floating the idea of doing like a VTuber fight, like pit. That could be pretty cool, right? Like have a VTuber fighting tournament at off-Kai. I'm sure they won't let us do that, but that'd be pretty cool. Be pretty cool. I want to box people at off-Kai. Meet and greet. See how many gym bros can lift on one arm. Yeah. So yeah, this does need clarification. If you mean a Smith machine, which is a bench press that's on rails, yes, you always are going to be able to do more weight on Smith machine bench versus a regular free weight bench because you don't even have to worry about stabilizing the weight with stabilizer muscles. It just goes up and down. All you have to do is put force into it and it goes up, right? So you don't have to worry about anything else. You will necessarily bench more on it, which is a thing that can happen where people are benching 270 on Smith and then they go to free weights and think they can bench 270 and they absolutely cannot. So very common. That is a big gap, I would say. Like I would say doing 30, 40 more pounds on a bench press is like pretty normal, but going from 185 to 270 makes me think you can maybe do a little more than 185 on a free weight, if that's the question. If you're talking, I don't know what else you could mean by seated because all bench presses inherently are something you do laying down to do a bench press. So I'm not sure what you mean, unless you mean like a incline bench press, in which case, yeah, that's going to be more shoulder activated, which is a smaller muscle. So it is going to be less weight generally in terms of how weights work. So your biggest lift is generally going to be the deadlift, followed by the squat, followed by the bench, followed by the overhead press. The overhead press is almost necessarily always the weaker one, just because it's harder. The muscles are smaller. You're going to be pushing less weight on that. So if you mean like an incline bench, you would also, yes, do a lot less weight overhead if you put an incline in because you're activating more shoulders to take over rather than chest. So that, yeah, it's like doing an overhead press halfway in between. So it's going to be halfway as strong. Horizontal movement. Yeah. Could we talk about chest press machine? Same deal with the chest press machine, right? So if it's on a rail and you can only go one direction and it has a curve to it, same deal. All you got to do is put force into it. You don't have to worry about balancing. So you're going to do more weight on that than a free weight bench. That's why people tend to do free weight bench. There's the YouTuber boxing thing. Yeah, I would do that. Like if they ever did Creator Clash again and I could get invited, I would 100% do it. I'd take it real seriously. Train for 6 months. Fight. That would be really cool. I'd be super up on board for that. I like the idea of fighting people. I would do it. Not as a career, but I would definitely do it. I respect getting in the ring, even if people lose, you know, even if people get their shit beat in. It's like cool, you know. But good question. Yeah, that is pretty normal. But I need to kind of know what you mean specifically to really get a good answer. It's a little complicated. Have you done martial arts? Yeah, I have. I did karate and jiu-jitsu, sparring in both. It's been a long time though. I wouldn't claim any skill out of that right now, but yeah, I used to. I really like martial arts. I think they're sick. Really, really cool. I had a really good teacher too. Every time I did martial arts, my jiu-jitsu teacher was like my jiu-jitsu teacher was like, oh God, have you seen, this is a very deep pull, but has anyone seen the regular show episode with the mullet karate form? I forgot what they called it. It was like the American karate, like mullet kung fu, and it was like really like cool. They had like jorts, and yeah, okay, that was my jujitsu teacher. My jujitsu teacher was a paratrooper. He was a U.S. paratrooper, and he wore American flag bandanas. And it was like really sick. It was like Americanized jujitsu. It was so cool aesthetically. Rex Kwon Do, yeah, I basically did Rex Kwon Do for jujitsu. But my karate teacher was super legit when I was a kid. My karate teacher was like part of the Olympic team at one point, the Olympic martial arts team that like went to Korea and competed and stuff like that. And he ran it like my karate place when I was younger. The best comparison I can give is it felt like the Power Rangers community center. Like, you know how in early Power Rangers seasons, they're like, we got to go down to the community center where everyone's doing martial arts and stuff, but it's like a hangout and there's like a culture there for all the kids and stuff. That was where I went and did karate, basically. It was like run by a really, really advanced dude who competed and was a really high level, like martial arts Hall of Fame type guy. But it was really community oriented. It'd be like, you know, the type of place where you go and they tell you to do your homework, and like you got to do your homework before you can come to class. You know, they ask people how their grades are in the community. That type of like really integrated into the community martial arts place. Incredible. Incredible. Best you could be. It was such a positive place. So I trained there when I was really young. And then I actually went back there as an adult just a few years ago, but I couldn't afford to keep it up, unfortunately. But I did go back for like 9 months or something like that to start again and be like, I really liked it here. I want to do an adult class. Family friend, someone I very briefly trained with, was a boxing trainer for one of the Olympics. One of the boxers he worked with went to be the world champ. Damn, yeah. Death Kwon Do. Thank you. Yeah, Death Kwon Do. Yeah. Mighty Morphin Sclimbo Ranger. It was so cool. Yeah, no, I want to go there still. It was really nice. It was really nice. I would eat the death sandwich. But, you know, kind of off topic, but I will say, like, I think it's a really cool way to have done karate. Because, you know, kids, here's the thing, right? Kids do have an inclination towards martial arts. When, like, back in, you know, when I was young, as a little Sclimbo, you know, a lot of people liked martial arts because I saw people fighting on like Dragon Ball Z and Power Rangers and stuff like that. So you take that, but then you mold it into something focused, right? So you take that initial interest and then you introduce this whole like community center aspect where it's like part of the community. Like they're coming to the schools and doing demos and they're asking you about your grades and stuff. They're teaching you not only martial arts, but also respect and responsibility and confidence and you know, being a good person morally as well as martial arts. Like it's almost like what martial arts should be, which is an all-encompassing philosophy. That's how I think of martial arts too. It's not just the physical training. It's the principles of the martial arts as well, I think matter. So teaching kids that from a very early age, like I started when I was 4, that is the right way to do it, I think, martial arts. I've seen the Hollow Lifter community. I have, yeah, they're really cool. I follow them. I follow them on Twitter and check them out and stuff. They're always posting really good stuff. Got interested in karate because of SpongeBob. That's fair, yep. But I really like the mental aspect of karate. I think like the mental and philosophical parts of lifting, fitness, and karate are really cool. Like martial arts in general are really cool. Because at the end, what they're trying to do is teach you how to not only hold yourself in the world and defend yourself, but to navigate the world, right? At least the places I went. It wasn't only a physical pursuit. It was also ingraining discipline and responsibility and respect and that sort of stuff. So I really like that approach. I think it's a really cool approach. So big fan of that. And I think it's probably how it should be, I think. Because martial arts are and always have been more than just a physical pursuit. Cartoons just need to show healthy stuff in good light. Yeah, that's why I liked Power Rangers so much as a kid. And as an adult, too. That's why I really liked Power Rangers. Because Power Rangers was like presenting this like ideal world almost. Where everyone's kind of just being goofy and hammy and getting along and doing sports and going out with their friends and then fighting scary monsters. But like the behind the scenes on Power Rangers, the day-to-day life was like people being in school and going to the community center and doing charity work and like kind of just good, happy, moral stuff. And it's like, yeah, we should do that. We don't have to be grimdark. I think grimdark is cringe. Well, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I like grimdark stuff. But, like, I don't think we should think that wholesome, earnest stuff is cringe, you know? It's like, no, it serves a really good purpose. And there's a point to it all. That's why I like Pokemon, too. Very true. Yeah, very true. Did you enjoy Lazy Town? I was too old for Lazy Town. But I enjoyed it as an adult. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. That's real good stuff, right? Where it's like, yep, okay, fitness, putting it to the forefront, advocating for it. Sporticus is a legend. Dude is a legend. Actor is a legend. But I was too old for Lazy Town. I think by the time it was like kind of popular, I was already a teenager, so. I got really into Grimdark as a teen. I've come around on Hopecore. Yeah, I like both, right? Like there's a place for Grimdark for sure. But I don't think we shouldn't be acting like pessimism and Grimdark is the norm and making fun of things that are hopeful and optimistic and earnest, because all we do is hurt ourselves in the end when we do that. Like all we do is make our lives depressing. Like we should have Hopecore. Hopecore is important. Our friendship is real. It really is. As a Grimdark enjoyer, I fully agree with that. We need more whimsy and optimism. Yeah, we do. And that's not to say that we need to think everything is great. You don't have to think things are going well to embrace optimism and whimsy. All you have to do is trust that, or at least believe in the idea that you can work towards a better tomorrow, right? I always liken it to like Gurren Lagann, and that's why Gurren Lagann's like my favorite anime, is Gurren Lagann's like this, right? If you take the world of Gurren Lagann, it's a grim, dark world. Bad things are happening all the time, and it's a really grim living, but the main protagonists don't let that get to them. They don't let that stop them. They don't let that hold them back from achieving their reality, right? And that's how I think about it, where it's like, just because things are bad and the world is in a rough place, you don't need to fall into despair. You can fight, and one of the best ways to fight, I think sometimes, is fighting for it, like, you know, trying your best to stay positive in light of that. You don't have to deny things are bad, but you don't have to let it defeat you, is the way to put it, I guess, right? You can still go forward with whimsy and strength, recognizing that everything is bad. It doesn't have to be like toxic optimism where it's like everything is good. No, it doesn't have to be. But you can treat it, you can take it and tackle the world like it is, you know? You had a friend 3D print you a cordial? Yeah, believe in the me that believes in you. If you can make tomorrow better by today, even by 1%, you can have hope. Yeah! I love Grimdark as an aesthetic and stage for hope and spirit to shine. Exactly. Fight for everyday effort and stuff like that. But, you know, I think it's important to acknowledge the bad. I don't think we should pretend like it doesn't exist, but you can acknowledge the bad without falling into despair. Is kind of my point, I think, if we're talking philosophically about it all. I just like that stuff a lot. That's my favorite way of dealing with things. But latest Superman movie showed this really well. I actually had somebody tell me, I didn't get to see it, but I had somebody tell me that the recent Superman movie was like, all my clients who saw it were like, you need to watch this, Sclimbo. Like, this is 100% your type of shit. And I was like, all right, I guess I got it. But, you know, I think it's up to us. It's up to us whether we choose to be defeated or not. And we can always choose to not be defeated. And until we die, basically. Prison Break scene with Viral's underrated. Yeah, Viral's so cool. Viral's great. Big fan of Viral, too. Viral's a good guy. Great guy. Love me Gurren Lagann. I mean, that's my favorite anime of all time. So I think we did have another question come in. Let me not wax poetic too long here. All right, here's one more. What do you think about custom programming with 2 compound exercises and 3 to 4 accessories? I actually like this a lot. Barbell bench press, barbell incline bench press, dumbbell chest, triceps push down, cable flies, low highs, high lows. I do like this. Yeah, I will say you are doing 3 compound movements here technically, right? Because you have barbell bench, barbell incline bench, and dumbbell chest. Those are all compounds. Tricep push down, probably cable, I imagine. Cable flies, low highs, high lows. All good. I really like this sort of structure where you do like 2 compounds, 3 compounds, and then accessories. That's probably one of the best programming things you can do, is get the compounds out of the way early, hit them, then do accessories. I would say that in a single day exercise, you might be able to branch out a little more than this, because you do have 3 chest exercises in here. Actually 4. You're actually 4. Well, technically even 6 if you say low highs and high lows too, right? Like all of these things are working chest. Barbell bench, incline bench, dumbbell chest, cable flies, low highs, high lows. These are all working chest. So this is a very chest focused day. If you're working out 6 times a week and just hitting chest 1 day a week, this is good. But I would say that it might be a little more efficient to instead break it out a little bit more. Do like half of this and then do the rest of the chest the other day. So like Monday you do half of this, and then Wednesday you do another half of this, because our body can handle multiple sessions of chest per week. And so it generally is a little more optimal to do what you can within 1 session, take some recovery. You'll recover in a couple days and then do it again. You'll get more chest work in, more high quality chest work in over a week than if you just hit this all at once for chest and then only do it once. Now, if you were doing this 2 or 3 times per week, pretty good. I would start to say maybe this is bordering overtraining on chest if you're doing this multiple times a week, because I assume you're doing like 3 sets of each, maybe 4 sets of each, and then that's going to really add up, because then what are we doing? Okay, 4 sets that are hitting chest, 4 sets that are hitting chest, 4 sets that are hitting chest. We got up to like 16 here, like 16, 20 sets. So if you're doing that multiple times per week, maybe dial it back a little bit. I personally, as a rule, Never really program more than like 8 sets, 7 sets of one muscle per day. And that's even kind of high for me. I tend to do with a lot of my clients because I'm either seeing them once a week and we have to do a full body, or I'm seeing them multiple times a week, but we are doing full body. I usually don't go more than like 5 sets of one muscle because we have to get to all the others. So yeah, I would say the volume's a little high on chest, depending on how you're doing it. If this is once per week, that's fine. I wouldn't say it's the most optimal thing, but this is probably a really good chest exercise if you're doing it once per week. But towards the end, you might be getting lower quality stuff, I would say. But I do like this sort of programming, this concept of compounds and then accessories. I would just maybe vary it and do, rather than just like all chest, I would do like, okay, chest and, you know, X day, right? Chest and back, or upper lower, or something like that. I do love me chest too, don't get me wrong. I mean, chest is my favorite thing. My favorite thing by far, but it's the most noticeable development I've gained. Yeah, I like chest. It's my favorite as well. My favorite is chest, but like I will only personally do 2 or 3 chest exercises at most per day. Like a program that I've done before, when I was doing like the most chest in one day, would be as simple as like 6 or 7 sets, where I would do, you know, chest might be ancillary in one of the other exercises, but I would do something like, you know, 3 or 4 sets bench press and then 3 or 4 sets flies. That's it for chest. And that was like a high volume because I was doing that 3 times a week for chest. So that ended up being, okay, boom, 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 6, 12, 18 per week for chest volume. And those were all close to failures. So yeah, I think you could make it a little more optimal by dialing back a little bit. You probably don't need all that work. I would say what you might want to get rid of here is, unless you're training, I know this sounds sacrilegious, but unless you're training for powerlifting and for a competition, you could probably get rid of the regular barbell bench press here. Incline bench press has shown similar gains on all parts of the chest. So you can probably do away with redundancy, get rid of the barbell bench, just keep the incline, and then do chest press, dumbbells, cable flies, low highs. I would also maybe split it out and do 1 day incline bench, 1 day dumbbell chest press, but then on both days also do cable flies and low highs and high lows. That's another way I would do that. That's how I would probably program that. I remember my question, what muscle groups do we need for a complete workout? So basically, to get a complete body workout's really hard objectively because there are so many muscles in the body, but you can activate most regions, we would say, by doing a full body compound thing. So what you'd be looking at is you would basically want to make sure you're hitting your chest, make sure you're hitting your shoulders, your biceps, your triceps, your back muscles, your posterior chain all the way down. So, you know, through the back, upper back to lower back, quads, hamstrings, arguably side delts and calves as well. So it's hard, but there's an easy way to think about it. Hey, Color Me, thanks for the 3 stream. What's up? If I mix protein powder and creatine, do I drink it during or after workout? Either's fine. You don't need to necessarily drink that before or after. It should be fine in either case. Just make sure that you're having it within 4 hours of a workout. If it's protein powder, that's going to be most efficient, but it doesn't have to be before or after, just within 4 hours. You don't want to be completely, what's it called? Fasted going into a workout. It feels so primal. Yeah, so like Polly, a good example of like what would hit a full body would be if you did something like, you know, okay, you're doing bench press, pull-ups, rows, squats, deadlift. That's pretty much going to hit everything, those exercises. And then maybe you do lateral raises for side delts and then calves. That will pretty much be your full body. But yeah, pull-ups, deadlifts are pretty good, yeah. But then you do miss the front part. If you're doing pull-ups, deadlifts, like chest isn't getting much, you know. And the thing about pull-ups that's really nice is you can alternate grip and get either bicep or tricep too, depending on width and grip. So you can still get bicep, tricep in pull-ups and also get back, and which is really nice, and some shoulders, which is really nice. Yeah, so the simplest full body routine I would say is probably one in which you're doing 4 or 5 exercises and they're all compounds, and you're doing like, yep, bench, squat, pull-up, row, deadlift, or something like that, or even dropping row and just like rowing the deadlift or something like that. There's a really good video Renaissance Periodization did about a month and a half ago where they talked about like the most optimal easy full body routine, and what they end up doing is they put in a deadlift row where you deadlift a weight and then row it, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty efficient. Like, we're just talking about pure efficiency. That's a pretty good idea. How do I make lateral raises not suck? Do them with cables. Do them with cables and do Egyptian lateral raises and like lean away from the cable stack and then do them. I think they're really fun that way. But yeah, take notes. Yeah, take notes. We're actually, if you want to take notes on an actual routine, I believe I'm going to be building an actual routine tonight over on Carbon Stream. Let me give a shout out because we are going to be doing a collab tonight We just do shout out here, Carbon VT. We're going to be over on Carbon's channel. Did that not shout out? Hold on. Do it. Why isn't it working? Hold on. Shout out Carbon. Wait, did I get it wrong? Hold on. Channel you're shouting out does not exist. What? Is it just Carbon? I thought it was Carbon VT. Hold on. Let me go on Twitch and figure this out real quick. Because. Don't listen to that. 1 second. Carbon VT. I thought it was Carbon VT. Oh, it's just Carbon? Oh, it's just Carbon. Nice. I think it was Carbon VT on Twitter. That's probably why I got the channel name mistaken. All right, so it's just Carbon. So let me shout that out. Shout out to Carbon. So we're going to be over there. If you guys want to check that out, we're going to be over there tonight at 9 p.m. EST. That is in about 7 hours from now. Carbon has invited me on for New Year's resolution talk about making him a workout plan. So we're going to be making an actual workout plan most likely tonight. If you do want to see an example of one that we will be programming later. So a little shout out over there. We'll be doing that later. Any more fitness questions, or do we move on to the next topic? All right, I think we're good on fitness. So really quick, let's do our usuals and try and, I can go a little longer. Let's try and pack a little more in because there's a couple other things I want to do today before I don't get to see you guys for a week. So we're not going to go to ads or anything like that. We're just going to jump categories. So we're going to jump over to GeoGuessr and really quickly hit our Scrandle and really quickly hit our Food Guesser for the week. And then we're going to jump over and I think we might just do a real quick tier list or something. Maybe since we're talking about travel a lot, maybe we do a US state tier list. I have that loaded up. Excuse me. All right, daily Scrandle. Let's scran it up. Oh, I want this screen. Here's my Scrandle screen. Get my arms in too. All right, this should work. Oh my God, gift subs. Thank you for the 10. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the 10 subs, Alex. How are you doing? That is a sub to Brand, Tang, LTN, Tex-Mex, Dracon, Pokey, Evil, Junpei, Belden, and Crown. Thank you so much. Big love, Alex. So much. Thank you so much. That will let me buy food. That will let me buy food at MagFest. Thank you. Speaking of travel, a flight to Japan is only 7 ounces of silver. Damn. Breakfast stack. All right, what do we got here? The breakfast stack, $5. I'm taking it. Easy. $5. It's incredible. We got Bovril, strong enough to melt the cutlery. That looks like a drink. And bad hot dog. Well, I don't want that, so. Okay, then we have hash and load meal, $6.50. Warm toffee apple. That looks so good. That looks so good, actually. Looks like mashed potatoes. It's not, but then we have mysterious Brazilian scran. That's my new Twitter name, mysterious Brazilian scran, and sausage and bread. We do have the return of the long sausage. It's beef broth. Oh, okay. That was like what we saw before, where they just called it. What do they call it? They didn't say broth. They said it was sausage water. Was how they called it before. Mashed apple sounds kind of good. It kind of does. I kind of want the mysterious Brazilian scran. Yeah, I think I trust it. Looks kind of good. Chicken pie and pigs in a blanket with, oh, there's mushy peas in that one. I see you. Or bad cheeseburger. I know people are going to pick this one, but out of spite, I'm picking this one. No mushy peas for me, please. And we have sausage roll or much. Yeah. Really? You're going to take mushy peas? You guys are crazy. Curry chips, egg, bacon, cheese, and onion burger. Can of VB. Oh, Victoria. We got Australia over here. VB. I mean, $5.80 versus... I like curry a lot. I'm sorry. There's meat in here. It's better, but I'm just guessing based on what I like. Brooklyn Big Dog from England. Not correct. BBQ bacon loaded fries from England. These look pretty good for... it's so much cheaper. I want it. Literally baby food. That's how I feel, Polly. Literally baby food. Roast potatoes with beef gravy for kind of cheap in England versus, whoa, the Hawk Burger. Not that expensive. I'm going for this. Sausage roel. And we have cheesy chips, but it's not even melted, and chips and nuggets with ketchup. I mean, there's protein, there's meat in there. I'll take that. Real quick one. Bada boom, bada bing. Easy scran. Let's go Food Guesser. Weekly game. What do we got today on the Food Guesser? So, where are we? Potatoes, onions, egg, flour, salt, pepper, oil. Applesauce is optional. We got applesauce in play. Pan-fried potato pancakes with applesauce. Oh, applesauce, huh? Sour cream? Optional. This feels Eastern European. Or like Caucasus. I think I want to start Poland here. Borders. That's crazy. Easy. All right. Western to southern border of Poland is going to be, this could be Czechia or Germany. I kind of want to just go Germany. But let's just start Germany. Potato. Easy, easy, easy. 2 guesses. That's a really good one. What do we got here? Wheat flour, water, egg, scallion, cilantro, hoisin sauce, fermented tofu sauce, wonton, fried dough, sesame seeds, pickled vegetables, ham. Ham! Known as a crispy fried cracker known as a baoqui. I mean, I feel like this is China, but I'm getting thrown off by ham. I'll start China. This might be a fusion food. Okay, correct. Straight up. This is chocolate cake. Who invented chocolate cake? France? Chocolate sponge cake with a ganache. Oh god, I don't know cake. I don't know confectionery types. Me? I don't know where this would be. What confectionery types are there? I mean, chocolate. France? France? Warm. France is warm. Italy? Guessing Germany, really. Joffrey cake. Oh, maybe it is Germany. No, it's not. Spain? No, it's east. It's east. This is something else. Is this Turkey? Or is it... Hold on. We're east of France, Italy, Germany. So, we're actually maybe in here. Joffrey cake. Hungary, Poland. Maybe? Poland? Hot? Okay, even more, huh? Interesting. Romania? We're going to lose this one. We got Romania. Very nice. Okay, very, very at the edge there, but we got Romania. My cake was warm. I'd be happy. Yeah, yummy cake. All right, let's play another round real quick. Rice, beef, spinach, bean sprouts, carrots, zucchini, shiitake mushrooms, gochujang. We have gochujang. It's literally South Korea. Unless it's Japan. No, it's bimbity bop. I love bim. I've never had it. Dende oil, like the Namekian. Shrimp, okra, garlic, peanuts, and cashews. Okay, we got peanuts in the dish. We got peanuts. We got optional coconut milk. We are maybe in India. Shrimp. Dende oil. Do I just start India? India. Ice cold. Really? Are we in Africa? Maybe North Africa? Let me go for like Algeria. Also cold. Karuru. Oh no, this is Brazil. This is Brazil, Hail Mary. I've made a mistake. Always, every time. If you've been here, you know the joke. If you've been here, you know the joke, right? At this point, you understand. We just throw Brazil and just be right every time. What is that? Corn kernels. Okay. Huitlacoche, cornmeal, cornstarch. That feels like Mexico. That spelling feels like Mexico. I'm going to go straight Mexico. Easy. Potatoes, ground meat, onions, bacon, sour cream, salt, pepper, eggs, mushrooms, garlic, dill. Grating and draining potatoes, then combining the mixture with a bit of raw potato starch. Corn smut. None of that. Potatoes and ground meat. It's a rotted corn. Okay. Onions and bacon. So we got meat. We got bacon in play. Sour cream. Salt, pepper, and eggs. We got dill. I'm saying same thing. Eastern European. Presence of dill. Presence of mushrooms. Presence of bacon. I'm saying Eastern European. I'm saying Russian. I'm saying Poland. I'm saying Ukraine. Maybe Caucasus. I'm going to start with a big one. Let's start Ukraine here. We got potatoes. Hot. All right. We're in the right area. Northwest of Ukraine is going to be, but not borders. We might actually have a Lithuania here, or Germany, or straight Germany. Let me eliminate Germany first. Okay. Wait. That lettering. Tepe Leonai. Is that Finnish? Poland? No, because if it was Poland, it would have been borders. Because our first guess was Ukraine, so it can't be Poland. It might be Lithuania. Yeah, it was. Nice. Yeah, Kazakhstan's huge. Kazakhstan's enormous. Cassava, water, and banana leaves. Okay. Well, I know banana leaves tend to be Southeast Asia or Caribbean. I don't know where cassava's from, but that should tell me the answer. The answer is within just knowing what cassava is. I don't. I guess I could just throw Southeast Asia and then see if it's wrong, go immediate Caribbean. But let me start Philippines. Ice cold. Okay, immediate Caribbean. Let me go Jamaica. Ice also Chikwangwe. No, it's not Lao. Both are ice cold, which means this is somewhere else entirely. Where could this be? It has to be tropical. Oh God, is this no Jamaica, no Philippines? Right. I mean, Africa. Because look, okay, if it's ice cold, but it's not Philippines and it's not Caribbean, it can't be ice cold and be on these continents. I think it'd be cold or cool at that point. So my only guess is the furthest between the two, which would be North Africa. But that doesn't seem right to me. Egypt? Let me sling in Egypt, but if we're wrong here, okay, Egypt's warm. We're on Africa. So we're right about that. Maybe West Coast Africa. Let's go Sierra Leone. Warm. More east. Sudan? No, Egypt would be too close. South Sudan, Kenya. Maybe Kenya. I think our last guess is a Kenya. Oh, no, it was everywhere else. Damn. Burundi, Gabon, Congo, Angola, Rwanda, Sao Tome, Congo, Chad, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea. Tough. We were doing good. We were doing good. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. All right. Final thing for today. Let's do a tier list real quick. I did want to do a tier list. It's been a while. I really like tier lists. So real quick, let's hit a U.S. state tier list. Nothing too fancy. I haven't been to every state, so there's just going to be a category for I haven't been there. But of the ones I've been to, I feel like let's do a little tier list. We also have a Japan prefecture tier list, but I'm going to save that for probably another stream. Let's just hit this real quick before we got to go. My state better win. Probably won't. Probably won't. All right, real quick. Should I stay in GeoGuessr for this? No, this is probably just chatting. There's no like geography section. I use it that way, but we'll go back to just. Okay, let's see here. From the top, how do I feel? I think I've been to about 25 to 30 states. So there's some I haven't been to, especially in the middle, but I can rank the ones that I've been to. Okay, Indiana. I actually think Indiana is kind of a banger. I'm gonna go banger on Indiana. I'm gonna go banger. I'm pretty keen to rate things pretty high. But I hear a lot of good things. So I've been to Indiana. I had a great time when I was there. I also have family who have lived out there at various points, and they kind of talk it up really high in that the prices aren't that bad. There's a lot of stuff nearby, and there's really good community out there. Solid food, and yeah, just apparently it's really good living out there. Really chill living. So I'm gonna give it banger. I hear great things. I've been there myself. I enjoyed it. I like Indiana. So Hawaii, haven't been. Have not been to Hawaii. However, I have been to Okinawa, which is pretty much the same thing. Both of them were independent kingdoms until the 1800s and then got forcefully joined into a larger empire, both being Japan and America. So I imagine Hawaii and Okinawa aren't too dissimilar. Climate's about the same as well. So I do like that idea. It's going to be really hot there, but I hear things are very expensive in Hawaii. It makes sense. You have to travel and export things really, really far to get there. Haven't been though, so can't really say. Can't really say. Yeah, no, it's interesting. So Okinawa, I think it was called the Ryukyu Kingdom, if I remember correctly. Okinawa used to be a separate kingdom called Ryukyu, and so their aesthetics are a little different. They were not part of Japan until around 1850, 1860, similarly to Hawaii. So Japan forcefully, took them over, and they were kind of second-class citizens for a while. And in the Japanese Empire, much so similar case to the Hawaii situation with the U.S. So being similar climate, being similar island chain, a similar historical precedent, like there's a lot of commonalities between the two, where they both try to have maintenance of an independent culture. They're not, there's Hawaii and the culture is maybe a little different from the U.S., just like how there's Okinawa and the culture is maybe a little bit different from Japan. So there's a lot of similarities, but I have not been specifically to Hawaii. I bet it's pretty cool. Like, I hear great things. It's very expensive, but it seems pretty cool to live there. A lot of adventure, a lot of exploration available. I believe this is California. I can't imagine what else it would be. Hold on, that's clearly California, right? Yeah, we're not in alphabetical order, so this is clearly Cali. Okay. This is controversial. And you would think that being somebody from New England, I'm going to rate California low. However, I can't rate it peak, but I think it's a banger. I think California is a banger. All right, sue me, okay? I know we should be doing, inter-coast conflict. Being from New England, I should be in conflict with the West Coast. That is the state of things. However, I think Cali's really cool, okay? I've spent a lot of time in California, almost every part of California. I've been to Desert California, out near Oroville area, out near Chico. I've been to Northern California, Southern California, all along, all the major cities, San Francisco, San Diego, San Jose, LA. I've been all over. I gotta say, the climate rocks. It's a really fun place to live. I really can't get over the fact that in some cities it's 60 year round. You can have one set of clothes. That's amazing. Rarely rains. It's always good temperature. I will say, I think that sometimes the people, like there's that whole thing of the West Coast is like people are friendly out up front but mean underneath, and on the East Coast people are mean up front but friendly underneath. That's kind of rung true, I've heard. I know a lot of people who have problems with like social stuff living out there, and obviously it's very expensive to live in California, but I like the state. I like the region. There's a lot of things to see. Great beaches, great wildlife, great nature, great temperature, great climate, great adventures to be had. I think it's a banger. The only reason I don't put it in peak is because of the price, I think. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool place. I think it's a pretty cool place, kind of objectively. West Coast, Best Coast, East Coast, Beast Coast. Yeah, it is fun to say East Coast, Beast Coast. Alaska. I have not been to Alaska. I would like to. I don't want to get eaten by a grizzly bear. It seems great. Seems really cool for nature. I wouldn't want to live there otherwise. The cost of living here is ridiculous. Yeah. Here's Alabama. I have briefly been to Alabama, but I would say I actually like the South. It's real hot down there. But actually, where can I have an I don't like this category? Because mid... I'm going to get rid of mid and just keep like cool. I'm going to turn cool into like all right, and then turn mid into I don't like this place. I don't like it here. There we go. That's more fair. Alabama, where did I put that? Where'd it go? Oh, it ran away from me. Oh, there it is. Alabama, I'm going to put in all right. I've been there very briefly into the area, and I do think there is something to Southern hospitality. Their food's really good. People are very friendly up front, and you can get like invited to a lot of stuff, and people are pretty cool and talk to you in public and stuff like that. It's real hot down there, and the infrastructure is not as crazy as the coasts, obviously. So it's all right. I think it's like the South is like all right, but I'm kind of into it. Me with Oklahoma might be okay, but I'm not okay. All right, what is this? I wish they like put the state names on this. I don't know what this is. Hold on, let me look at this. What state is that? Does anyone know? Idaho? Is that Idaho? Or is that something else? I actually don't know what that is. I wish I could. I wish they threw the state names on because not all of those. Is that Colorado? Hold on. Let me look at Colorado. We're going to have to approximate shape here. Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. I think it's one of those. No, Colorado's a square. This might be AZ. Arizona. This, I believe, is Arizona. Looks like Nevada. I think it's Arizona. The shape seems to fit Arizona. Let me look at Nevada. I think this is AZ. Nevada. Yeah, this is Arizona. This is for sure Arizona. Nevada's differently shaped. Utah. Yeah, I think it's Arizona. Okay, well, I'm going to go forward assuming this is Arizona, even though I can't really read it. It's a four corner. Yeah, hold on. Can I like pull up a different tier list maybe that has the states on there? Because actually, how many others are going to be hard to tell? So it looks like we won't be able to read this one, the next one, these down here. And I guess if you need to know the state name, just listen to Wacko's 50 States and Capital song. No, I do. Can I just like zoom in? Hold on. Let me like enhance. Maybe if I enhance. Oh, I can totally enhance. Okay, that's good. Okay, so it's Arizona, Colorado are the next two. All right, I didn't think that would work. The quality's high enough though. Okay, Arizona. I think it's a banger. I think it's a banger. I think it's a banger. Kat, thank you for the resub. 3 months in tier 1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How you doing, Kat? I think Arizona's really cool. I've spent a lot of time in Arizona. I really like Arizona. I think what a lot of people don't know about Arizona is it's not all desert. There are parts of Arizona that are like, it snows up in the mountains and stuff, and there's really cool aesthetics up in the mountains and trees and stuff. You cast shirtless. Oh! So I like Arizona. It's vast nothing. It's comprised of Phoenix and nothing else. I think there's a lot of adventure to be had in between areas in Arizona, but yeah, it is a big desert. I really like it though. I think it's a banger. Sedona's really cool. Really, really unique place. There's a lot of monuments out there, a lot of awesome nature to look at, parks and stuff like that. I like Arizona. What can I say? Colorado, haven't been. I would love to though. I think I'd really like Colorado from what I hear. I'm okay with deserts. I'm not a fan of living in them, but Delaware is all right. Delaware is mid. I can't say anything about Delaware. It's like, it's Delaware. Arizona's 50 shades of earth tones. I like the earth tones, yeah. And just, I remember being in the mountains in Arizona and it's snowing. And like, it was just really aesthetic. It was really cool. And I was like, wow. Connecticut. Now, being from New England, I have a lot of experience with every New England state. So Connecticut, I think Connecticut sucks. So it's all right. I have nothing I can really say about Connecticut. There's nothing really there. It's kind of boring. There's really nothing in Connecticut. I can't say anything bad about it, but I don't think anything's really going on in Connecticut. Oh man, I don't think anything's really going on in Connecticut. I'm gonna be real. I mean, come on. Oh, and you said it's your home state. Can you argue? Do you like? Is Connecticut a happening place ever? There's nothing to do there. I always like when I was younger, I used to think of Connecticut as like, this is very specific, but have you ever heard A Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve? This is a song, and it's like a violin line, right? I always as a kid thought Connecticut was only where rich people lived, right? Like really rich people, and that's wrong, but there are parts of Connecticut like that are kind of snooty and like really rich neighborhoods and stuff, but I just don't think there's anything in Connecticut. It just exists. Yeah. See, Owen's even like, I mean, Colorado has dark sky parks. Yeah, I think the lifestyle in Colorado and Utah probably like vibe with me, because I think Colorado might be the most fit state. So I think the idea of like living in a city, but also going into nature every weekend to hike and stuff probably fits me really well, with good food as well. Like Colorado is probably a pretty cool place to be young, I imagine. Just some of the East. Yeah, just Greenwich, some of the East came from a very blue collar town. Yeah. Florida. I fucking hate Florida, dude. I hate Florida so much. I do not like Florida. I am very biased against Florida. I think Florida sucks. So I don't like living in a swamp. That's my thing, right? Like, yeah, okay, there's cool parks there, but Florida is, in my mind, a glorified retirement home, and it's built for people over 65 and not for young people. Being not over 65, I don't want to be there. It's hot, it's sweaty. This is like, I'm like Anakin with this. It's like sand, I don't want to touch it. I don't like Florida. I don't go to Florida. In fact, my mother spends half the year in Florida, and I won't go. She'll be like, you should come to Florida for the holidays. And I'm like, no, you should come here, actually. I don't want to be in Florida. All of them agree with you. Yeah, it's like Florida man jokes, but also just a swamp, and you can get eaten by a crocodile. I don't see benefit of Florida. Like, people are not meant to live there. That's not meant to be habitable by humans. It's a just visiting state, yeah. Jacksonville's a very chill and very young city. I'm like open to that, right? Like, I haven't been everywhere in Florida. I went to Florida so much as a kid, and I hated those vacations. It was hot. It sucked. I wasn't happy. Like, I just have bad memories of Florida constantly. Universal Orlando and Rockville. Like, maybe I'd like it now, but I'm like, it'd take a lot to get me to try. I just don't like Florida. Heat sucks, yeah. Georgia. Actually, I think Georgia's kind of pretty cool. Kind of a banger. To be fair, I've only been to like northern Georgia, but I like Georgia. I had a lot of fun there. I think it was cool people, great food. It's not, even in summer, it wasn't that bad in the north. It was still hot as hell, but it wasn't terrible. It was something I've experienced before. It wasn't sweaty swamp zone. Kudzu, I think, is everywhere in Georgia. I think that's one of the kudzu states where they've just taken over everything, the plant kudzu. If I remember correctly. But I did enjoy Georgia. I had a really fun time there. I like the cities. I think they're pretty fun. They're pretty well connected. They're pretty happening. So cool stuff going on in Georgia. I know people who live in Georgia. It's probably how summer is in the UK. No, it's not. People in the UK start dying when it gets to 75 degrees. Florida is, why don't you increase the humidity and also add 20 more degrees? That's Florida. Florida is, the humidity is 2,000% every day, and it's also 100 degrees. It's also 105 degrees. That's Florida. It's the worst of everything. Georgia, Savannah, Atlanta. Savannah is also a really cool city. And Atlanta's cool. They have like whale sharks, the aquarium. The Atlanta's a really cool historical city. A lot of great food. Savannah's architecture is incredible. Very cool place. I really like those places. UK people melt in the South. It's not a joke. You step outside, you're drenched in sweat. Yeah, but are you from the UK? Because I can't trust you if you're from the UK. Because here's the thing. I can't trust anybody from the UK saying that they melt and it's hot in the UK, because I've seen the climate data. And I'm like, I just don't know if you've experienced worse. So I don't know. I'm a little biased against that. But you're from Yeehaw Roll Tide. Like, I trust somebody. Okay, I trust somebody from the States. Like, if somebody from Florida tells me that the UK is hot and sweaty, I will believe them. But you know, if somebody from the Philippines tells me that the UK is hot and sweaty, I'm gonna believe them. But if someone from the UK tells me that, I'm gonna be like, I remember the headlines about people having heat stroke when it was 75 out. I remember that. So I'm hard to believe. I've heard Australia is like Arizona. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And I know it's a house thing, right? Like I'm only half joking. I know it's like their houses are made out of cement, so they retain a lot of heat, and you're like not allowed to have ACs or open your windows or some crazy stuff like that. So I can see that, but like, you know, in my mind, 75 is like a normal summer day, like before that's a normal end of spring day, I would say. Never been to America, can only say from experience. Yeah, no, like a lot of places in the US, like Florida's humidity versus and temperature versus UK has to be way more, because Florida is like, it's always over 100 and like 200-degree humidity, 200% humidity. Yeah, it's just a different suck there, I hear. Okay, what do we got? Maryland. I'm about to go there tomorrow, but I've been there before. It's all right. I mean, if we're including DC, I don't know if DC's separate in this area. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like DC's separate. So I guess if we're including DC, I would say it's kind of cool. Actually, it's still kind of all right. DC's cool for the monuments, but it's probably a lot of good food. This opinion might change after next week, because I haven't had much Maryland experience. I've just been there. It's 79 degrees right now in January where I live. England folks would be dead. Yeah. See, here's Surd saying 75 Fahrenheit is generally AC level cold for people in the Philippines. So yeah, that's my point, right? But the UK house ventilation system's different because they have like stone, so everything's like hotter inside, and they don't use ACs, or they can't open their windows as much or something because of regulation. I don't know the story, but all to say is like, yeah, I just know climate data wise, there's a lot more places that are way worse than the UK. The UK's like let's look at it objectively, like regardless of sea tides and stuff like that. Just look at where latitude wise the UK is, and you can be like, okay, it's clearly not the worst place on earth, right? Clearly it's not hell on earth, just based on where it lies in the world. I heard DC is good pizza. Yeah, Polly, I hope to get normal yummy pizza in DC. I don't know what you're insinuating, but I am probably going to order Domino's or something. Yeah, don't go there. I've heard Maryland during the summer is also a swamp hell. The only places I've had AC are shops or a hotel one time. Oh yeah, no, there's AC everywhere in the US and, you know, everywhere. Well, I don't know about everywhere, but a lot of the places that are really hot have AC year round all the time, everywhere. Idaho, never been. Don't know. I like Domino's. Yeah, I think Domino's is actually. Illinois, I have been. It's all right. I'm okay with Illinois. What do we got going on over here, though? DC is actually built on swampland. Yeah, I mean, but swamp isn't the worst thing in the world if it's not also hot, I think, right? This is Arkansas. Okay. I don't believe I've been to Arkansas. I think I might have been there for 5 minutes once, but I'll say haven't been. Iowa also have not been. I haven't been to like Corn Zone. Kansas I've not been to. This is, what is it? Is that Kentucky? That Kentucky? Yeah, it's Kentucky. That's Kentucky. I've also not been to Kentucky. You can see where I haven't been regionally. Louisiana have not been. Maine. Oh boy, Maine. Oh boy. It's a toughie. Do I like Maine at all, realistically? Not really. But only by comparison. I don't like Maine, but I don't like it by comparison, okay? Here's the thing. Anything south of the I-10 in Louisiana is 10 out of 10. The rest we can give to Arkansas. Here's my thing about Maine. I have never met somebody from Maine who's normal. And that includes family members who have lived there. I think Maine's a weird place. This is Stephen King territory. There's no real big cities. There's really no connection. It's out in the middle of nowhere. No, here's the thing about Maine. I don't like Maine because... No, Kat, hear me out. I don't like Maine because New Hampshire and Vermont exist. That's my argument. I think Maine is a worse New Hampshire and Vermont, so there's no objective benefit of going to Maine. There's only downsides, in my opinion. So, is Derry in Maine? Derry might be in Maine. It might also be in New Hampshire. I'm not sure. But I don't know. I just think I think that Maine is made worse by New Hampshire and Vermont existing around it. It's like, I guess objectively Maine's all right, but there's nothing to do in Maine. If you ski, that's great, but there's better ski mountains in New Hampshire and Vermont. So why would you go to Maine to ski? Unless you're closer to that. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's not much in Maine. Good lobster. You like Kennebunkport and Acadia? Acadia is nice, and Kennebunkport's okay. Coastline's nice, but like, I just think New Hampshire and Vermont have better of everything that Maine has, and Maine's just more isolated. So, okay, maybe that's fair. Maybe I'll bump it up to all right, but it's not going to be peak, which you know now what's coming. Is this Massachusetts? Yeah, it is. Massachusetts, huh? Massachusetts. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. Like, again, I want to clarify. The nature in Maine is great. I just think there's better nature in New Hampshire and Vermont, or at least the same nature with more connection. So, let's think. Okay, Massachusetts. How do I feel? I think objectively, Massachusetts is kind of really good. I think objectively it might be peak. Crap. Oh boy, how do I feel about this? It's complicated, right? Because Mass is a very important state in the country. And like Boston is a very important city. This is kind of like a New York City situation, right? Where it's like comparing New York for what exists. You know, Mass has a lot of variety. There are mountains in Mass. There are ski mountains. So you can get into the mountains in Mass. You don't have to go to New Hampshire or Vermont. It does have Boston, which is a really cool city. Really hell to drive in, but a really cool city. And it does have a lot in between and a lot of cool outlying burbs. I think I have to keep it in Bangor because I think there's nothing about it that says like this is amazing. But objectively, it's a very important state. Like this is like a California tier state in my mind where it's like you can't have the US without this state. Western Mass is pretty. Yeah. Western Mass is cool. I've spent a lot of time in Massachusetts. So Western Mass is really cool. I think I'm being careful here because my experience in it with it is so widespread. You know, I am from New England, so I've spent a lot of time in Massachusetts. So it's tough. It's tough. But I really think it's good. What holds Mass back is really the question for being peak. Maybe it's a little boring towards the middle in the mill towns, but there's still kind of aesthetic even at that. You know, maybe I'd put it in peak. But I'm going to need the... You know what? Let me put it at the top of Bangor. Because peak is purely going to be saved for, let's be real, Vermont. The best state of all time. All right, Michigan, have not been. Minnesota, have not been. Well, I've been to the airport, but Mississippi, have not been. That kind of feels like it doesn't exist between Boston and Chicopee, yeah. Montana, have not been, but I bet it's a banger. Nebraska, haven't been. Nevada, yeah, I think Nevada's pretty cool. Nevada obviously has like a lot of cool, I mean, like for my interests, right? Cool desert, cool alien stuff, part of the Grand Canyon, Vegas. Vegas is awesome. Cool things outside of that. Yeah, I think Nevada's a banger. Pretty important place. Like, let's be real, right? When we're talking about the US and people traveling there, they're going to think about New York, California, and Las Vegas. Those are like the three things. Boston, maybe. Those are the 4 locations. Florida, 5. We'll give it 5. 5 polls they might think about when they think about traveling. Las Vegas is one of them. So, Vegas, baby! Refusing to eat food you never tried, such a weird concept. I've heard lobster was like a really common food and rich people ruined it. Lobster is really good. Lobster is incredible. Here's New Hampshire. I think New Hampshire is incredible, but I might put it behind Mass. I don't know. The thing is, I think we're running into a Maine problem here where it's like, you know how I said that I think Maine is made worse by New Hampshire and Vermont existing? I think New Hampshire is made worse by Vermont existing. So I can't put it in peak necessarily. Actually, maybe I should. No, I think the rest of New Hampshire kind of sucks. I'm going to keep it in Bangor. I'm going to keep it right here. Cali on top. Yeah, I think Cali's... I might even bump up Cali to peak. New Hampshire's the only state you've done very little in. I've spent a lot of time in all of the New England states. So we're getting to Jersey. Jersey's actually next. So here's the thing. I think here's the difference between New Hampshire and Vermont. New Hampshire laws are very different. So in New Hampshire, they have no tax, no house tax, no sales tax. I believe no income tax. Maybe they have house tax. I think they have no sales tax, no income tax in New Hampshire. They also have a lot of legal fireworks. You can blow up stuff legally here. In fact, fun fact, when that video at debut was recorded, where I was blowing up myself with fireworks, that was in New Hampshire. I was in New Hampshire at that point in time. Because I had legal access to fireworks to blow up there. So I was there in that video. So I like it. I prefer the mountains in Vermont because one of the big differences between the White Mountains and the Green Mountains is the White Mountains are more rocky and the Green Mountains are more lush. So they're a little more jagged, a little more rocky mountains. This is where Mount Washington is, and that brings up the state a lot. But the cities in New Hampshire kind of suck, and I think that's what drags it down. Because I think the cities, the towns, small town New Hampshire is really beautiful. I think like Laconia area, Conway area, very beautiful. I think the cities in New Hampshire are bad. I think the cities in Mass are better. And I think the cities in Vermont are way better. So I'm going to keep it like a lower than Mass, but it's still a banger. It's still really good. New Jersey. I mean, I don't like New Jersey. I mean, nobody does. Maybe I put it in all right. I can't be a hater. New Jersey, I've had some experience with it. I think it's fine. No, New York, it's fine. I'll be honest with my feelings. I'm not going to make the joke of, oh, Jersey's the worst. Jersey sucks. I think it's fine. It's kind of boring. Sleep with one eye open, little bro. Well, hold on. Are you going to try and sell me New Jersey? I'll listen, Seiji. If you want to sell me New Jersey, you can give it a shot. I'll listen. My ears are open. I just don't get it. Yeah, I can't make a left turn or pump your own gas, right? Jersey gets a bad rap because of the Garden State Parkway, but the western half has a lot of nice nature. That's fair. That's fair. That's why I'm willing to put it in all right, because I'm like, no, the jokes about Jersey aren't the entire state. If we're taking the state as a whole, Jersey is the best pizza. See, I don't, but like, are we just saying Jersey is the best pizza because it has a high Italian population? Because there's a lot of places that do. You could say the same about New York or places in New England. So like, are the Italians in New Jersey making better pizza? I don't get it. Like, what tech do they have? Hey, what's up, Ultra? Hope the stream's going well. New Jersey's at least tolerable above Florida. Yeah, well, I hate Florida. That's probably maybe the only state I dislike. We'll see, though. Amazing. I don't know if the Jersey beaches are good. maybe I know there's Jersey Shore, but like we also have North and South Carolina and like California and Florida. And there's a lot of good beaches in the US. I don't know if New Jersey stands out. I'm going to be honest. All the pizza people moved to like Harvard. Yeah, no, I will say one thing I forgot to mention and why Mass is in a banger, high banger, is Boston is a busy city. Absolutely. But some of the like the places people live in Boston, like the college towns outside of Boston, are incredible. Some of the best places I've ever been, where they actually have walkable towns. They have great food access. They have subway access with a good public transport system, or at least a passable one. Like some of Massachusetts in Boston is really, really cool. And like you said, a lot of people move to that Harvard area. So there's a lot of great food, a lot of really good connections. Like, I think it's a really good area. It's really cool. Let me tell you, New Jersey is a homey feel no other state can contest. Is that because you live there? Maybe. Yeah, homie, because it feels like someone's abandoned home. I don't want to slander. Hey, what's up, Zep? But I think it's all right. I think there's some cool areas in New Jersey where there's like cool historical stuff, kind of like Pennsylvania, where there's like battlefields and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. New Mexico. I think it's kind of like, where'd I put Arizona? I'm less interested in New Mexico than I am in Arizona and Nevada. So it's lower than those two. I'm going to put it in like top of all right. It's all right. I think New Mexico is pretty all right. I would go. I'm gassing up Mass. I wonder what's going on in Peak. Well, you see what's going in Peak is Vermont. Vermont's going in Peak. I don't know if anything else is. We'll see. Now, it doesn't mean I live there. I'm just saying that. It doesn't mean I live there. It just means I really like the place. And I did say at one point I've lived there. I'm not saying if I live there now or not, but I did live there at one point. But to be fair, in New England, you've probably lived everywhere at one point. I've lived in many places. Come on, my boys will be there soon. Nah, you don't even know where I'm at. Maybe a New York transplant, but I'll join in and say Jersey sucks. Or New York. I think New York's great. Actually, is New York peak? It might be. If you take upstate New York, basically being Vermont too, and then also the fact that New York City's crazy, I think you might have to put New York in peak. The one thing I wouldn't give it is like, I don't know about the people in New York, if they're very friendly. So yeah, Spider-Man is there. That's a good point. And it borders Canada. Yeah, including northern New York makes it pretty good value. New York's great, but New York City kind of sucks. Long Island's there. New York's better than California. I think I like Cali better than New York, personally. But don't they have rats in the subway? Yeah, but who doesn't have subway rats? Except, most places. Yeah, maybe it's peak. But can I have New York in peak and not have Massachusetts in peak for similar reasons? I think the nature in New York, in upstate New York, is better than the nature in Mass. Maybe I put New York in peak. I think it's fair. New York folk, rough exterior, but generally nice. Yeah, that's a lot of in the Northeast. New York's more authentic. I agree with that. Like California, for all cool it is, it does feel inauthentic at times. What is that? Oh boy, hold on. Let's zoom in on this. What is that? Oh, is that North Carolina? NC? I'm going to assume it is. I think North Carolina is pretty all right. I think it's like high all right. Pretty cool. You know, I like Charlotte. That's all right. North and South Carolina, I'm going to put in the same category, by the way. Even for Myrtle Beach, I'm just going to combine the two. I'm going to be cheating. Where is this? North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania. That South Carolina? No, where is it? Pennsylvania. There's South Carolina. I'm going to put South and North Carolina basically in the same place. That's probably not fair and people are going to be mad. But yeah, you're basically, it's fine. It's fine. You've been to a lot more states than I have, and I did a road trip. Well, it's not fair because there's a lot of small states in the Northeast, so you've been to a lot of them. As you see here, my haven't been is like the entire middle of the country. Yeah. Have you been to all these states? Yes. Anything haven't been is the only category where I haven't actually been to them and spent time in them. So I'm being clarification on that. Here. You've only been to flight connections? No, I'm not even counting flight connections as being somewhere. I'm counting like I spent time in the area doing stuff, you know? I don't know too much about North and South Carolina. I like South Carolina. I've been to Myrtle Beach a few times. I've traveled through these places. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's all right. I don't think Myrtle Beach is a very exciting area as far as like big resort destinations go or like holiday destinations go. So it's only all right, not banger. Like it's no Vegas, right? It's no California, but it's like all right. North Dakota, never been there. Never been to Ohio. Never been to Oklahoma or Oregon or Pennsylvania. I've been to. Yeah, I think Pennsylvania is actually kind of cool. I think a lot of the cities in Pennsylvania are pretty fun, especially for younger people. So I'm going to put it like banger, low banger, maybe low banger. Definitely recommend Big Sur, Cali. I've been. Yeah, I've been all over California. I have a lot of experience in California. This is Rhode Island. Oh, man. Oh, Rhode Island. I mean, it's so small. It's so small. You can drive across this place in like 30 minutes. The coast is pretty cool. They have some cool mansions on the coast that you can't live in because they're $10 bajillion. Yeah, this is Family Guy Zone. Quahog, Rhode Island. This is Family Guy Zone. I mean, I guess it's all right. We got to hike up a mountain and cook steak at the peak. Yeah, the beaches are decent. That's true. The beaches are decent. It's like high all right. It's not really a banger though. I mean, like not a lot happens in Rhode Island. Nice place to visit for a cheap vacation. The Peter Griffin place. Yeah, it is the Peter Griffin place. It's true. This is where Family Guy takes place. But it's just, okay, you have to keep in perspective how small this place is. Like, for people outside the US, you should look up how small Rhode Island is. It's like, if you compare it to Massachusetts, I think it's like an 1/8 or a 10th of the size of Massachusetts. Like, you cross, it's a small state in the country. You can cross this thing in like 30 minutes. It's really barely there. So Providence is basically a Boston suburb is crazy, but yeah, true. I mean, to be fair, yeah, I think everyone who lives in Providence commutes to Boston, right? It's like the Saitama. It's like the Saitama to Tokyo. The horse is in the kitchen. Maryland, some nice lakes to camp at. Nice. Yeah, so I don't know. It's like, all right. I can't really say anything bad about it. I mean, there is a lot of, I will say, for the all right, there's a lot of mafia stuff going on in here. There's a lot of mafia stuff. These guys, like, I think didn't they have like a convicted mafia dude as their governor, like, or mayor of the main city like 3 times? weren't they just like re-electing the dude who like went to jail for like a bunch? Forgot about Lovecraft. Yeah, Lovecraft is also a thing there. But yeah, didn't they have like a mafia dude or like a criminal dude who they kept re-electing as mayor? That's one thing I hear. Tony Soprano's a good man. Different area. But no, I think there's a lot of mafia stuff going on here. I will say Rhode Island does have good food. There is absolutely a huge, like, it's interesting. So it's basically, I would argue it's a college state, because the thing about it is the capital city of this place, Providence, right? There's like 20 colleges there, and like 20, like there's like 20 different universities, and that's like the entire city because it's such a small place. So like this is just where college students live, kind of. And then you have college students, and then you have like huge Portuguese population, huge Italian population, and other expat populations because of the colleges. So it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. Like there's not a lot of people who are from Rhode Island in there, I think. I just realized New Jersey had the Jersey Boys. Oh, true. Yeah, Rhode Island was weird about that. Okay, I'm not crazy. They did like re-elect a criminal like a million times to keep being their mayor. That's real. So it's all right. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's small. There's not a lot going on, but Providence wouldn't let him die. South Dakota and Cake Boss. South Dakota haven't been. Missouri have not been. Tennessee I have been to. Tennessee is pretty cool. I like Tennessee, actually. I think Tennessee's a low banger. Same vibes as Alabama in my mind. Actually, where'd I put Alabama? A little above Alabama. I like Tennessee more. I like the towns. Some of the more built-up towns and cities are getting real modern these days. Kind of cool. Good food. And just great views all around. Oh, also some great rivers. I did some whitewater rafting out here, and it was like some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen in the mountains in Tennessee. So I really like Tennessee. I think it's really cool. Tennessee's very beautiful. Texas, I have not spent enough time in Texas to rank it properly. It's also so big. I feel like you can't rank it without being all over it, like Cali. I've only been through Texas. I haven't spent time there, but I want to at some point. Utah, have not been. Okay. Here's Vermont. That's going in the top of peak. I think Vermont, I would argue Vermont is maybe like the best state in the country. So, okay, maybe it's my aesthetics. Maybe it's just what I like. I am somebody who likes mountains. I like lakes, and I like snowy aesthetics. I like snow. I like greenery. Vermont is all of these things. Vermont is a really, oh God, how do I describe Vermont to non-US people? Vermont is like Iceland. Maybe? Or Vermont is like, I'm trying to think of an example of like a really like nature-focused small population, but it's very beautiful, but also not like dingy, because it's beautiful. Like everything in Vermont's beautiful. None of it's dingy. That's the thing. Is like there's no like crack towns in Vermont like there are in like New Hampshire and places like that. Really, I don't know. It's just like even the cities in Vermont are small and very beautiful and very nature focused. San Marino, it's like, yeah, it's like Europe. That's a good example. Yeah, Vermont is like a European country within the US is a good way to put it. There's like, despite it being, you know, mostly nature, there are a lot of bike paths in Vermont, tons of skiing, beautiful green mountains. Like just look up the Green Mountains. I'll show you some pictures. Hold on. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something that's not fair, because Vermont is one of those places that has 4 seasons, right? So you get the best of every season in Vermont, except for like mud season. But let me show you the snow during the fall. So, and you'll get an example of what I'm talking about. Fall foliage. I've shown this. I might have shown this before. Hold on. Let me show you an example of like what Vermont looks like during the fall and like the vibes. Because this is like a good example of like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So this is just Vermont like all the time. So this is Vermont during the fall, right? Where it's like the little chapel, quaint little towns, beautiful mountains in the background. It's unfair. Yeah, Vermont is a not fair place. But it's not only the nature, it's the cities too. Like the cities are nice. There's some good colleges there. They're very nature oriented. They're on some of the Great Lakes. Like I think Burlington is their biggest city, even though it's not the capital. Montpelier is the capital, but Burlington, city of Vermont. But if I can show you a picture of Burlington, like Burlington's a very European feeling city, despite not being in Europe, because it's also very small and it's very well laid out. It's not super like, you know, high risey and stuff like that. Very reasonable, and it's also on the water. So okay, here's a real tiny picture. I don't know why it's so small, but like you know, like here's, you know, Burlington, the street in Burlington, like looks like that. It's really nice. Let's see another one here. Yeah, it's just like you see, it's a city, but there's no big high rises or anything like that. It's very nice. So it's just like, I don't know. There's really nothing bad I can say about Vermont. It's just incredible. I think it's really, really good. The right one? No, it's Burlington's a nice town. Ski villages are also really cool. Yeah, and ski villages are awesome. Vermont looks like out of an older Serene TV show. It does. Vermont's stunning. Oregon, Cali, and Washington have enough. They do. They have that too. Oregon, Cali, and Washington do have things like this, but like the state isn't almost entirely that is the thing. There's like no bad parts of Vermont in my mind. There's small rustic towns. That's about it. But there's some rural areas, but they're nice. They're kind of quaint. And just tons of skiing, tons of hiking, tons of lakes and rivers. And then you're on the Great Lakes as well. And the cities aren't too built up. They're kind of like more community cities, not like big high rise, like bustling, people don't know each other cities. I don't know. There's really nothing bad about Vermont in my mind. I dare say that Vermont's people is different too. Yeah, they are. Vermont's people are really like nice. Like these are the type of people who are like, okay, we got our local craft beer and our like we're tapping our own trees for maple syrup and stuff like that, and we're passing it out to our neighbors. Like Vermont's kind of banger. It's kind of the best ever. It's very progressive minded. They invest in communities and quality of living for residents. They do. They really do. No, it's a great place. Cali's its own country. I agree with that. Cali's so big. You like I feel comfortable ranking Cali because I've been to every part of California more or less, like including desert California, and then east, west, north, south, middle. But it's very complicated to put into one perspective, right? Because like desert California, very different than coastal California. Those are basically different countries. It's just so big. I mean, it's bigger than a lot of European countries. So, all right, what do we have here? But yeah, wax poetic about Vermont. I think it's incredible. There's really no downside. This is, oh, that's Virginia, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin. Oh, I've been to none of these, actually. I can't I can't rank any of these because I haven't been to them. I haven't been to more states than I thought. I need to get around. I got to go on some trips. Kind of a pathetic showing. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23. Only less than half. I thought I went to like 30. Less than half. Yeah, you can hear me lean in. lean in. You meet a fellow Californian from a different part of Cali and go, oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. USA state trip. I would love to do a cross country. I want to do travel stuff. I mean, that's why I'm trying to go full time, right? So I can travel and also still stream and go around and bring people places and stuff like that and talk about them. As a Cali local, it's surreal to hear the East Coasters talk about multiple states while traveling multiple hours in LA. We'll still have you in LA. Yeah, I cross state borders to get groceries. That's the Northeast for you. I cross the border to get groceries. I go to restaurants. I cross the border to go to restaurants. Like, Wyoming is where that 70s show is based. That's Wisconsin. I'm gonna fight you about your state's placement. I will convince you it's cool. I don't know what state it is, but if I ranked it bad, sorry. People crossing the border from Connecticut into New York to buy liquor on Sundays. Yeah. You got to do, depending on where you are in New England, some people do fireworks runs to New Hampshire, where it's like, oh shit, because fireworks in New Hampshire, they have the most lax fireworks laws. So during 4th of July, everyone in the surrounding states will make border runs to New Hampshire to smuggle fireworks across the border. And the police will just be sitting there and being like, I saw that Massachusetts plate come in and then come back an hour later. I know what they're doing. And so it's a whole border run during July to try and get fireworks out of the state, smuggle them out, and then illegally blow them up in your backyard. But you know, I can say this, right? The nice thing is, like, I have lived in the vast majority of New England states. So I do have vast experience in most of them because I've lived in most of them at various times. So I think that's fair to say, because it doesn't say where I am now. It just says I've been to all of those places at point. If you ever come to or never go to Portland, I know people who've been to Portland. Portland feels like an evil place. I don't want to slander or anything like that, but everything I've heard about Portland, Oregon makes it seem like it is a like spiritually unpure place. like there is you get like a debuff to your soul when you live in Portland or something. Because everyone talks about it. Like, they'll come back after having lived in Portland and be like, wow, that was like, those were the worst people I have ever met in my entire life. Like spiritually evil location energy. Wisconsin mentioned, I mean, I've never been, but 100% Portland's a mixture of good things and there is a downtown. Portland has a lot of drug problems. I've heard that too, but like, I don't know, everyone, it's not even like the location, it's the people I've heard. Like, I've heard that, like, I don't know what's going on in Portland, but that the people are just like evil. Portland is literally just a place. It's just LA, but wet. Right? That's the thing. It's like Iggy. It's like, it sounds like Portland is a place, but the people might be evil. It's the poison swamp level of the US. No, that's Florida. The Polybius cabinets. Every person I met from Portland has left. Yeah, no, my experience is knowing a lot of people who moved to Portland and then left telling me that everyone was evil. Like, not even like, oh, I didn't really vibe with people out there, but like that they would tell me stories about people just doing like evil villain level acts. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. I'm sure that's just a sampling size, but like for the joke, right? I don't actually mean everyone in Portland's evil, but let me make it clear. But for the joke, that's just the impression I get. It's like, everyone just tells me stories about it, like, yeah, and then they did villainous stuff, and it was like, whoa. Great for hiking nature, just stay out of Portland. Yeah, see, the person from Oregon saying stay out of Portland. Yeah, Florida is the poison swamp Dark Souls level of the United States. That's so true. Evil hipsters. Imagine living in Portland saying the sentence, Portland now is evil territory. It's like Mordor, like you can't go there. Portland person is peak evil, the same way Florida man's peak. Florida man, no, here's the thing. Florida man is not peak stupid. Florida man is peak free will. Florida man is peak agency. The people in Florida are exercising their agency and free will to do wild and crazy stuff whenever they want. I will say though, Miami's a vibe. Miami for sure is a vibe. But I do feel that most of Florida is like, Florida is built for people over 65 at the expense of everyone else. It seems to be the thing. Yeah, Florida man versus Portland man boss fight. I think Florida man wins that every time. I think Florida man wins that. Florida man has like dangerous strength, you know? Should not be that bumped up in the tier list. Or should not for that be bumped up. Oh, I haven't been to some places, so. Florida's a Souls-like free will minigame, yeah. Hey, what's up, Dagor? Dioker. The only thing I know about Portland is bike friendly is a lot of lesbians. I mean, being bike friendly is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty sick. And lesbians, that's pretty cool. You know, we love lesbians. But yeah, bike friendly is pretty good. You can own a tank in Florida. Oh hell yeah. Florida man fights on all fours, but with dignity. I don't know if it's dignity. Florida man has poisoned the river. I think Florida man fighting on all fours feels right. I wouldn't say with dignity, but I think Florida man like a feral beast fighting you on all fours. That seems right. What's up, lead polar bear? What's going on? I moved to a town outside of Portland and people are pretty nice. That's good to hear. I'd love to have conflicting narratives, right? Because it's like I've heard so many bad things about Portland that I want to hear good things, or I'm like, there's no way it's actually just an evil location that corrupts you, right? Like that's crazy. So I'm glad to hear good stuff about that. At least Florida has awesome animals. Yeah, they're cool animals. I wouldn't say awesome. I don't want to live with them, right? I don't like Florida's the PvP zone where it's like, do you like animals that can kill you? Go to Florida. We got crocodiles hiding in every river. Did you know there's a fact about Florida that's like every single body of water has a crocodile in it? It's like a spawn location. There was some stupid statistic about that where it was like, yeah, every body of water has one crocodile at least. So it's like, yeah, do you want to deal with the crocodiles or the poison everything or scorpions? Like, I think they have scorpions too. I'm not sure about that, but I think they do. You highly disagree with Indiana? I've heard really good things about Indiana. Like I know I've been through it. I've been to it. I've had people who live out there and it's pretty cheap, I hear. And like people have good community out there. Florida is a PvP zone. Croc in the toilet, you know, giant python in your home, enormous spider, everything's poisonous. Have you ever seen the videos of the guy? I got to give credit to this dude. But you ever seen the videos of the guy who just goes into the Everglades barefooted and just grabs animals? He just yoinks them. I need to show you this. You need to see this if you haven't seen this because it is something. This is the level of like, when I talk about agency in Florida, this is what I mean. This is what I mean when people just have agency in Florida. You'd love to see a python. That's fair, Rosie, though. Raptor. Yeah, I mean, the dino thing, I get it. Yeah, that's fair. You could like that. I just don't like living with that because I like going out in nature. I don't like being threatened when I go out in nature. Now, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder. Florida man's Aaron Yeager, maybe. You clearly need to go to Louisiana, but specifically New Orleans. Yeah, I do. I think New Orleans is I'd probably go to Louisiana and then rate it banger. I bet. Hold on, let me look up Florida man Everglades grabbing animal. If you haven't seen this dude, I forget his name, but it's crazy. Fishing Garrett. Yeah, Fishing Garrett. He just goes to the Everglades at night, barefooted, and just steals animals. Like, he's the epitome of the animals in the Everglades are free. You can just take them. It's crazy. And he's like grabbing poisonous animals. Hold on.
Hey guys, I'm in the Amazon rainforest and right here.
Oh, this is the Amazon this time. Hold on. Never mind. I want to find like sketchy yoinks and boobs. Hold on. 2025.
I'm gonna show you some sketchy yoinks and boobs. I was plus for tea, so
hold on. I want the video of him like waiting around in the nighttime in the Everglades. It's insane. Let me find this video. Let's see. Florida man Everglades nighttime. Yeah, I'm talking about the barefoot dude in the Everglades who just grabs things. And yeah, the swamp puppies and stuff like that. Hold on, is this one of the shorts? Let me find a good one.
Hey guys, I'm in the Florida Everglades and I'm calling up the swamp puppies. Python. Got a boy.
Yeah, hold on. He just goes and grabs animals. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, here we go. So, okay, let me just show you this one. So this dude, right?
I'm out here in the Florida Everglades and I'm surrounded by alligators.
He's
Check
just
this
barefoot
out.
in the water.
Don't try this at home. I've been sitting.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah, and he's just like, just chilling.
Right up to me.
Oh.
There is over 100 here, but I got like 30 or 40 right next to me.
Yeah, he yoinks
Look
them.
at this. They all freaked out when I stood up and they realized.
Yeah, the gators do not. Look, he just grabs animals. He just picks. He's just like, oh look, I want you, and then he grabs them.
Hey guys, I'm in the Florida Everglades and I'm using my feet to attract this swamp puppy. Mr. Crocodile's coming in hot. I think he's about to yoink me. But he's just curious and he's saying hi to me. Yellow rat snake, yoink. I ended up getting yoinked by this sweetheart. He got me on the leg, but it doesn't hurt. Ooh, chameleon. Yoink. This is
Dude's
a
just
little
in the
male-male
woods at
chameleon. He'll
night,
make a
barefoot.
fantastic pet.
Yoink.
Ooh, yoink.
Yeah, baby gator.
We got a tokay
Baby
gecko.
gators make laser
We got
noises. They
another
go pew pew
Yoink.
pew.
Look at this juicy handful of tokay geckos. It's not easy looking for a 20-foot Burmese python, especially when you don't stage your videos. Ooh, that's a big green water snake. Yoink. She's definitely not too happy with me.
Oh my
How can you
god.
not love a face like that, though? Tropical orb weaver.
Yeah, if I was not afraid of it,
Look at
beasts.
that juicy cottonmouth. You gotta watch your step out here. Ooh, this python doesn't know what's coming for him. Finally, we got one. Yoink. Hey guys,
It's just like, oh my god, what a monster, what a master of the environment. Getting a handful of geckos. Yoink. They're wild chameleons. Oh yeah, they're wild chameleons. If you go to Florida, they're just chameleons chilling. They're just around doing stuff, you know? Yeah, they just hang out. They just hang out. Oh. Oh. Yeah, so I would say that's the tier list. That's the tier list. Also, Led, thanks for the follow. Okay, everybody, short stream today. Oh, we actually went 3 hours. Oh god, I need to go. I need to go. All right, everybody. Don't forget me. I'm going to be gone for a week at MagFest. I'm so thankful for everything so far. We're also hitting the 2-month anniversary while I'm gone. So I love you all. Love you all. I will see you next week on Tuesday for the Nuzlocke. We're going to finish up Hoenn next Tuesday, not Monday, because I'm still away. I will be on Twitter. I will be on Discord still. Wait, who are you? No, it's me. It's me. I'm going to have a good adventure over in MagFest. Party it up, and I'll see you on the other side. Stick around for the raid. Let's get out of here. Thank you for coming today. I didn't do as much as I would like, but I am busy. I need to go get ready. What was his name again? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Who are we raiding into? We could raid into who's on? Also, hi Dando. I saw you. Hi Dando. Let's see. Who is on today? Who do we want to go in? Oh, a lot of people are on. A lot of people are on. What's Red Claw up to? Playing spooky game and yapping? We go Red Claw maybe? Actually, what's Sealy doing? Oh, Sealy's playing New Vegas. We raided Cammy recently. I read on Fuzz. Haz. What's Haz doing? Gone fishing? Yeah, why don't we go to Hazmat? You want to check out an OozeTuber? How long in is Hazmat? Oh no. Haz his rating. Haz his rating too. I just heard him say, I don't got to raid Fuzz. All right. Maybe Red Claw then. Maybe go Red Claw.
Versus Kong, because as much as I...
What's Red Claw? Oh yeah, Red Claw's 52 minutes in. Let's go Red Claw. All right, Red Claw. Let's go say hi over there. And I will see ya all later. All right, everyone. Happy week. I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
These movies, like, since GVK, it feels like an ending. Oh, wow. Sclimbo, you just came into me